Talking Ball Y'all Media proudly brings to you Friday Night Gridiron, powered by Diamond Productions. Their motto is, we don't set the bar, we raise it. Now let's head out to the stadium and join the voice of the Maroon Tide, Clay Sweet and Ricky Whitaker.
Perched up here on the crow's nest above the press box at the beautiful campus of Poplarville High School, Clay Sweet and Ricky Whitaker join you for an awesome matchup here tonight, Rick. Two teams off to a really good start, and the good Lord's given us a picture-perfect night to get set and get action underway. As it's the home-standing Poplarville Hornets versus our Picayune Maroon Tide. And I say home-standing with a little emphasis, Slick, as they've told Picayune to put on their finest and even bring a float. They've invited the Maroon Tide for homecoming tonight.
Yeah, and man, just a beautiful night, as you said. 78 degrees is what we're looking at here at kickoff. Not quite talking fall, y'all, yet, Clay, but we're getting there. It's starting to rear its head, but just a great night for football.
Yeah, it really is a cool scene here tonight as we talked about the pageantry that homecoming will bring, as you see the court and their escorts being stationed across the field from us. We're on the home side. We talked about being perched on top of the home press box. Across the way, the Picayune fans have done a good job of getting here in numbers and getting here early. And so if you're on the way to Poplarville, I hope you've got on comfortable tennis shoes if you got on the maroon and gray, because you may be standing around here tonight, as it's a great traveling crowd for the Maroon Tide. Poplarville known for their home crowds, known for this community that supports this club so well. They'll be out in full force already making their way into the park. A beautiful place, Rick. We talk about it, you and I. We've been able to be on this surface. You and I called a game. What was that, Slick? How many years ago? Kind of your first action on the mic, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, 4 years ago, man. Today we caught our first game together on the sideline. Caught a spring game together at East Central for Poplarville. So, yeah, we're back in familiar territory. It's not quite as familiar as you, but definitely somewhere we've been before. And you said it, man, just a beautiful stadium. They've made a lot of upgrades here, and great place for a high school football game.
Yeah, back on those games that 4 year ago, Mark, would have been natural plain grass. They've added a wrought iron fence that surrounds with beautiful brick columns, nice new brick kind of concession area. That's where Poplarville used to kind of huddle before they would make their way down to the field. So, yeah, some really nice upgrades here in Poplarville. And you mentioned it, a little bit of touch of fall, some drier air, and so maybe that will help both teams tonight be able to breathe a little bit better. Not quite the humidity level that we've had. Some of these Friday nights, some of these Fridays have kind of been the worst day of the week weather-wise, with real high humidity percentages. And Rick, you know how that can take its toll, especially I think Cody's almost sick of me talking about it, so I didn't bring it up in the pregame this time on our Mossy of Picayune pregame show. But a bunch of kids on the 6A level going both ways, and just the wear and tear on a hot, humid night that it can have. Air feels a bit better tonight.
Yeah, no, it is, man. It's nice. You would think you would see less cramps, of course. Having 4 games under your belt, you're hoping that you're starting to adjust anyway. But, man, it's hard to adjust when it's that hot. So definitely looking for a better game without people cramping up quite as much tonight.
Yeah, that will be a thing of interest to kind of keep an eye on, to see how both squads have a little bit more friskiness to them here. As it's not a cool night, that'd be certainly a stretch, but it does feel better. The PA system, new scoreboard and PA system, certainly piping in the noise. The noise you will hear first is if something happens for the green and gold, as we are on that side. There'll be a low kind of roar that will reach these ambient mics if something good happens for the Maroon Tide. And, Rick, if last week's any indication on the offensive side, some good things will happen. The offense for the Maroon Tide has been really good in our third segment after Cody Stogner's interview. We'll dive deeper into it. But, boy, you scored 42 a week ago against a quality team in Ocean Springs. There's a lot of positives even in a loss a week ago.
No, I agree, and I think you could probably look and quantify 4 or 5 plays or 4 or 5 situations that kind of broke Picayune's back there. But you come out of the locker room and you got a chance to go up, unfortunately, or to score. Unfortunately, a turnover happens. That's a different ball game. And then we talked about the special teams plays as well. But overall, man, one of the more dominant performances that this Picayune rush attack's had this year, which has been pretty good already through 4 games.
Yeah, in that second segment, you'll hear Cody Stogner kind of talk about that and the way you can find, even in losses, especially non-district ball games, you want to find ways to pull both the positive and the negative away from any game. And, of course, tonight will be another non-district opponent in Poplarville. Picayune, and an oddity, Rick, really in scheduling, will be off next week before getting in to district play. How big is this one with that looming week off in front before district play begins?
I think it's huge, Clay. I mean, you've got some guys, when you've played for a 4-game season so far, you're going to have guys that are nicked and dinged and banged up and bruised. But overall, you just want to be able to get folks healthy and having that week to be able to focus and reconcentrate on just the small things, right? I think that does the team very, very good going into district play.
Yeah, I agree with that, Rick. And speaking of things to look for, things to kind of look out for, let's look at one of the keys for tonight's ball game. And I use that pun, but no kind of pun intended, as Ty Keys, truly an impact player for the Poplarville Hornets. Let's look at what Mr. Keys has done up to this point this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the numbers say it all, Clay. He's number 1 in the state of Mississippi for yards through 4 games. Yards per carry's been very, very high. He's up in the double-digit mark pretty consistently. But what really stands out is when you see those numbers, you think automatically, man, he must be touching the ball 40 times a game, but he's actually under 23 carries. So he's done that on a very, very manageable snap count. I think that's something Coach Beach is happy with. That's not a 50, 45, 50 carry per game number there. So that, I think, stands out more than anything else. But for the Maroon Tide, you got another very good back. You get into district play, and if you can find 3 backs better or 4 backs better than what we've seen so far, Keys is in that company tonight. You'd be hard-pressed to find that. It's going to be another really good test for the Maroon Tide.
Yeah, it really will be. And one of the things that Cody talks about, and just the other side of this break, is the tackling of the Maroon Tide. You'll certainly get your tackling tested tonight with this young man up on the screen, and Mr. Keys, 6 foot 205. You've had a chance to take in the tape. His running style, Rick, if you could kind of tell our listeners if there's any comparison that you could make or anything that you could kind of note about his running style.
Well, I think he's as strong as what we saw with the Crosby kid from Gulfport to open the season up. I think he's as smooth and fluid. He kind of reminds me of even like a Chris Davis with the way he can navigate. He makes very good cuts, has great vision, but also hard to bring down like the 2 backs that we saw last week. So to your point on tackling, that's got to be a big deal because a lot of his yards that he picks up are after contact.
Yeah, that's a good point by you. We'll get Cody Stogner's thoughts on this matchup and what he saw from his club this week in prep. On the other side of this 2-minute timeout, you're in middle of our Mossy Picayune pregame show. We'll return after this 2-minute timeout.
Thanks for stopping by Mossy Picayune. We're proud to be your family-owned GM Superstore, serving Mississippi and Louisiana with new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here, you're more than just a customer, you're part of the Mossy family. We offer a family-friendly atmosphere backed by GM-certified parts and service and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. At Mossy Picayune, it's small-town friendly service with big-time savings.
Protecting your personal belongings is a basic human instinct. You've worked hard for what you have. At Executive Storage, we are dedicated to providing you true, secure storage options and peace of mind. With 2 convenient locations to choose from, you can trust us to protect your personal, family, and business assets. Give us a call today at 601-798-4000 and let us help you protect your most prized possessions.
Looking to buy or sell your land, home, or commercial property in Pearl River County? Then it's time to call the hometown experts at Valente Real Estate. Our friendly local team is here to make sure your real estate dreams come true with personalized home searches, expert guidance, and flexible property showings that work around your schedule. From the first showing to the final signature, we're right by your side, making sure your experience is smooth, stress-free, and right on time. At Valente Real Estate, we believe in more than just closing deals. We build lasting relationships, one happy client at a time. So whether you're ready to find your dream home or sell your current property, visit us at 109 North Main Street in downtown Picayune or give us a call at 601-799-3477. Valente Real Estate, where your next chapter begins.
We're back here on the Talking Ball, y'all Mossy Picayune pregame show. Let's get a word with head coach Cody Stogner. Standing by with head football coach Cody Stogner on a beautiful Friday night here in Poplarville, Mississippi. Cody, a cool setting and a great matchup here tonight with the Hornets.
Yeah, that's just, what South Mississippi football is all about. They got the tailgate going over there. It smells great out here. Music cranked up. It's a little warmer for my liking, but at the same time, it's going to be a great crowd tonight. I mean, two county rivals getting after it and two quality programs, and so I expect a really good football game.
Cody, when you look at them on tape, kind of tell our listeners what you see, what you may expect from our opponent tonight.
Same thing you see out of a team coached by Coach Beach every year in, year out. They're tough, they're scrappy, they've got a ton of playmakers, and obviously, it's hard to not talk about number 5 there. I mean, he's a dude. He's a dude amongst dudes, and so it's going to be a great game. Like I said, it's going to come down. But the thing is, it's an old school football game. It's going to come down to who blocks and who tackles the best.
Cody, we always look back. Last week, man, was a wild football game to be on the call for. Had to be for you on the sidelines as well. But when you look at our offense, our rushing total, they never really stopped us from running the football. I know that had to be a bright spot even in a loss last week.
It was, and there were still a lot of things we could have cleaned up better on offense as well, too. But that's something we preached on all week is that we got 3 possessions taken away from it. I mean, I always say taken away. We gave them 3 extra possessions, and that's the difference in the football game. So obviously, yeah, I thought offense is heading in the right direction. We're clicking well. Obviously, we're not where we want to be just yet, but that's a good thing is that we are getting better and better every week. Going back and looking at our grades from week 1 to where they were last Friday night, our grades are continuing to get better. That just means we're going in the right direction.
Cody, on the defensive side of things, man, you talked about the extra possessions. Of course, when we lose them, that means that they got them, and they just had a slew of weapons to use.
They did, and we didn't do no favors. Our tackling sucked. I mean, I'll just be flat out honest. The tackling sucked last week. We had 26 missed tackles. We were in position to make plays, and we just didn't make them, So, but they did have that's probably one of the best offenses we'll see all year with just one amount of playmakers they had in offensive line, quarterback play. They were real good, but, we can't do anybody any favors when we're missing that many tackles. So that's something we harped on a lot this week, and it was a different style of practice this week. It's not no finesse or prettiness. It was, hey, get your hands dirty. We're about to get dirty, getting bruised up, and this is how we're going to play football, and this is how you're supposed to play football.
Cody, when you talk about tackling, I mean, it's kind of like baseball. You saw some velocity last week. You're going to see more in 5. The keys, if you don't tackle him tonight, he'll have a big night.
Yeah, you miss him one time, he's got one step, he's a house call. So we got to do a great job of just gang tackling, getting hands on him and getting everybody to the party. Like I said, I mean, he's a good player. He's going to get his. I mean, we just got to hopefully limit his what he gets. So it's going to take a total team effort on defense. It's going to take all 11 to make some stops and hopefully get us the ball back.
Special teams, Coach, we had some miscues, but then we also had a big return from Fortenberry. Kind of tell us what you saw on special teams.
I mean, the big return is a momentum shifter right there, but that's just big to get this momentum back in our hand. That the 2 onside kick. That's my fault. That's my fault. It was bad coaching on my end. I didn't have our guys prepared better enough for that, and it's no fault of them. It's something we worked on a lot more this week, and I think we'll be a lot better at it starting tonight.
Coach, I can't wait. This is going to be fun tonight. We appreciate you letting us be on the call and access you grant us.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully we home before the 10 o'clock news cuts on. But, man, this is a great atmosphere, a great game. I'm glad that, we got to get this game back together because, obviously iron sharpens iron, but also it's great for the communities.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Roll Tide.
So there, Slick, get a chance to hear from Cody Steigner on our Mossy of Picayune pregame show. And this is one of my favorite times of our pregame shows. Get your thoughts on what you heard there from Coach Steigner.
I think it's a lot of the things that we talked about, Clay. The part that I like the most is Cody's always he's very honest with us about his thoughts on the game, and the effort was there, right? We talked about the offensive production. We were up over 9 yards of carry on the ground. I think he liked that, but 26 missed tackles, that is a lot to work on and probably been a focus for them this week. And I think that he knows, he mentions the reference to being home before the 10 o'clock news. To do that, you got to make this a short game, and long rushes, breaking long runs, giving that up. If you're the Maroon Tide defense, could make this a shootout. I think it could be that way with two good running backs, and we got some good ones as well. But I think you want to limit possessions. You want to try to keep the ball, those long Picayune drives that we saw last week to start the game is what we're looking for again tonight. But got to be good tackling on defense.
Yeah, what about the respect there shown by Coach Steigner to really point out, as we've already done, our impact player in Ty Keys. It'll be kind of how many helmets can you get to the ball, how quickly can you get to him. We saw a Coach Feaster defense for the Blue Devils put 8 helmets at times up on the line of scrimmage. And when you do that, Rick, against this explosive a back, and I know why you do it, you're certainly trying to limit him, but he's 2 or 3 of those long strides from busting one, and that's the kind of the danger. What do you look to see from a Coach Hayden defense tonight, alignment-wise, to try to slow down Keys?
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Hayden comes out in his base 40 package that he typically runs, or if he starts in the 50. I do think we'll see some 50 tonight, having that extra lineman in. We've certainly got the dudes that can do that, but that'll be the interesting thing for me is, does he start there, or does he maybe start with his 40 and then go to that later? But I think the 50-man front will be on tonight.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. Of course, when Rick mentions that 50, that's a 5-down lineman front. We'll try to talk to the listeners. Rick, you'll remind me you do a better job of watching the trenches when we go from that 4-down lineman to the 5. There's an injury that we can disclose since we're this close to kickoff. The leading tackler for the Picayune Maroon Tide, a linebacker who we talk about each and every pregame, Kelvin Stallings, out tonight. He was in street clothes. He was dressed like you and I, which is never how I like to see Kelvin, but that's a key probably going in. Some guys that's going to have to step up, fill that gap. When we come back, we'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll get your talking ball, y'all tell of the tape after this 2-minute timeout here in our Mossy of Picayune pregame show.
Thanks for stopping by Mossy of Picayune. We're proud to be your family-owned GM Superstore, serving Mississippi and Louisiana with new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here, you're more than just a customer, you're part of the Mossy family. We offer a family-friendly atmosphere backed by GM-certified parts and service and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. At Mossy of Picayune, it's small-town friendly service with big-time savings.
Making decisions on when and where to further your education is a big step in life, so let Pearl River Community College be the destination for you. Pearl River offers the first 2 years of any major and over 42 career and technical programs. They have 3 locations to better serve your educational needs. The Hancock Center at 454 Highway 90 Suite D in Waveland, the Forest County Center at 5448 Highway 49 South in Hattiesburg, and the main campus located at 101 Highway 11 North in Poplarville. Pearl River Community College. Roll, River, roll.
Since 2017, Cruz Law Firm has proudly served the people of South Mississippi with dedication, skill, and results. Whether you are facing a complex legal battle or simply need trusted guidance, our team will work tirelessly to deliver the outcome you deserve. Bill and his experienced team handle a wide range of legal matters. From real estate closings to personal injury, and from wills and probate to criminal defense, we've got you covered. When life gets complicated, we're here to simplify the process and fight for you. With 2 convenient locations in Pearl River County, Cruz Law Firm is ready to stand by your side. Call 769-242-2500 to schedule a consultation for your specific need. That's 769-242-2500, because your future is worth fighting for.
We're back here on the Mossy Picayune pregame show. If you're watching on the booth cam, send yourself and your friends and family over to the Talking Ball Y'all YouTube channel. We'll have the beautiful camera work of Jackson Harrelson and our Diamond Productions live stream over on that YouTube channel. Simple, just search up Talking Ball Y'all. You'll find the YouTube channel. Please share, subscribe there, help us get the word out, and we are thankful for you joining us. Rick, let's get a look at the Talking Ball Y'all tell of the tape here for this matchup with Picayune and Poplarville this evening.
Boy, this one is it's fun, Clay, because it may be the only time in the year, or maybe ever, that we see numbers as similar of ours as on offense. But here's the thing that stands out. We talked about how good Keys is and how good he's been this year, not to mention that 500-yard attack that he had against Hancock a couple of weeks ago. But when you count that in, we're very close in rushing. So we've been consistently doing it on the ground all year. You take that big game out and look at it, the Hornets off to a little bit of a slow start through 2 games. Their production has really picked up the last 2 weeks, and Coach Beach mentioned that when we spoke with him on the podcast this week. He's been pleased with the offensive line, but there's been some other guys too. You look at sophomore Remy Nycan, he started to produce a little bit more. You had sophomore Track Smith, who stepped in at the quarterback position, and he's been more than serviceable, completed both of his passes he's thrown. The other thing that stands out too is the passing yards they're not going to blow anything to blow your socks off, but when they do complete one, it's for a big gain. So all the attention that Keys gains from the defense, you got to be aware of those other guys slipping out and hitting you for a big play, just like we do to defenses.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rick. When you dive into these numbers, the rushing per, man, those are big, right? You get that. These are how you really play state championship type ball. Poplarville coming off a state title as a 4A club. You can do that when you're averaging 341 a ball game. Picayune knocked on the door to compete for another state championship, just short there in the South State ball game. You continue to average 319 per ball game, you will be right there.
It's a big
deal.
The
points allowed column, you factor in a high scoring offense this year in West Harrison. That's the loss for Poplarville. You look at giving up 56 last week to Ocean Springs, and that factors in because you may be looking at this matchup and saying, boy, both of these teams 3-1. That points allowed pretty close to that point score where you've got some anomalies in a undefeated West Harrison club, an undefeated Ocean Springs, that makes both of these strength of schedules coming in pretty high for these teams.
100%, Clay. And I think another thing, too, that for the Maroon Tide offense that you're going to want to be aware of tonight, you look at the takeaways. Maroon Tide, 4 of their 7 has been interceptions, but for the Hornets, 4 of theirs has been fumble recoveries. That tells me this defense is going to be trying to punch that ball out. So we've laid it on the ground 4 times, only lost 2 of them, but ball security for these Picayune running backs, another way to steal a possession.
Yeah, we'll get a look at a heady defender, a guy that Picayune Maroon Tide fans going to be familiar with and kind of the lineage. Track Smith, also a brother on the squad for Poplarville is Titan Smith. That's the grandsons of Dodley, the son of Devin Smith and Seth Smith. That's a coach's kid, and both Titan Smith and Track Smith. Track we will see at safety. We may see him at quarterback. We saw him a week ago in that film. And then you've got coaches' kids everywhere on this club. You've got Lennox Beach that's going to play. You've got Locke Russell, Cruz, I appreciate that. Cruz Russell's kid, former coach. You've got Coach Moss's kids. So Poplarville littered with coaches' kids on their roster, and then a big guy up front that's got a lot of looks, and Mr. Lejeune for the Hornets.
He's a monster, Clay. I saw him in street clothes last Sunday, and he is a big youngin'. Stands at 6'4", 280, just a junior, but again, another one of those young men. Got several sacks on the year, but really been picking his production up the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, going to be an awesome matchup. We can hardly wait. Both teams have made their way out on to this turf. Excuse me, just the Picayune Maroon Tide, as the Hornets still in their locker room. Tide have made their way down to the turf, and they're loosening up in front of us. We'll take another 3-minute timeout. When we return on our Mossy of Picayune, we'll tell you how they're dressed, and we'll get this one kicked off. It's Picayune and Poplarville here on your Mossy of Picayune pregame show. Once again, if you're watching on the booth cam, go over, find us on YouTube. You'll get to see the sights and sounds going on in front of us. Search up Talking Ball, y'all, on that YouTube channel. Join us there. Tell a friend. We'll be back on the other side of this 3-minute timeout.
It feels good to buy local. Whether you're supporting your community small businesses, family-owned restaurants, or Farm Bureau Insurance, the local agents at Farm Bureau Insurance are dedicated to always helping you protect what's important. Farm Bureau Insurance is headquartered right here in Mississippi, with local agents in your community. If you're shopping for car, home, or life insurance in the Poplarville area, call Kate Amaker at 601-795-4585. Or if you're in the Picayune Carrier area, call Jeremy Shesby, Colby Hawthorne, Colin Pinton, or me, Ross Gilbo, at 601-798-2861. And go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau Casualty, Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi.
Rev up your ride with Topper World Truck Accessories, your one-stop shop in Gulfport and Slidell. Come in and talk to our experts on truck caps, tonneau covers, and spray-in bed liners. Topper World has next-day delivery and is offering a $100 rebate on select fiberglass truck caps. Our trained staff can get your truck ready to pull your boat to your favorite fishing hole or your camper to a dream vacation spot. Get to Topper World in Gulfport or Slidell for all your truck accessory needs, or look us up at topperworld.net.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio, lighting, video, content development, and production management. With an uncompromising attention to detail and a standard of excellence that exceeds expectations, we deliver seamless events that engage, inspire, and impress. At Diamond Productions, the bar isn't set for us, it's set by us.
Pit Lane Oil Change, located at 401 Highway 11 in Picayune, is a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the area for 15 years in the same location. They are a full-service oil change shop, servicing cars, trucks, and even servicing diesel trucks. Pit Lane is a Carfax top-rated service center. They offer new oil filter, air filter inspection, wiper blade inspection, power steering fluid top-off, check transmission fluid, coolant antifreeze top-off, and so much more. Their new hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and closed on Saturdays. Stop by Pit Lane Oil Change today and let them be your personal pit crew.
Would now join the anthem in progress. How awesome is that, right, Slick? I mean, you're a music guy, lead your choir at your church on Sundays, and that was well done. You know the work that it takes to get a group to do what that group just did. That was a beautiful rendition of our national anthem.
Yeah, man, nothing like a beautiful acoustic performance, and that's certainly what we got here in Poplarville tonight.
Man, that was awesome, man. That gets the goosebumps to show up and the juices to flow. We're about to kill our booth cam. We'd implore you to go find us on our Talking Ball Y'all YouTube channel. We just kind of use this booth cam as a way to promote that channel during our Mossy Picayune pregame show, Slick, but we are just about nearing that 7 o'clock hour. Picayune has gathered in their end zone. They're getting ready to run out of their sign. Picayune cheerleaders helping support that sign. The best cheerleading coach in the entire nation is down there milling around, is Jessica Smith. Heck of a school counselor as well. A school, Picayune named an A school this week. That's awesome. Big news there for Picayune. And so cool things going all around the Maroon Tide. We'll kill the booth cam. We'll tell you how the Tide are dressed. Going to be in gray breeches tonight, Rick. White tops, those beautiful maroon headgears for our Picayune Maroon Tide. Captains for the Tide tonight, it'll be Bolden leading the way. They're coming out single file, so help me as you can. They're going to see Keys out first as their captain. I see Harmon on the backside for Poplarville. We'll get a look here now as maybe if they'll turn and let us see. For Picayune, 4 captains apiece. Poplarville going to be in gold bottoms, green tops. That Vegas gold is what they call it here in Poplarville, headgear with the Hornet on it. You can see a look at that Hornet squared up on the 50. Harmon 8 out as one of their captains. He's a really good football player, Rick. He comes from a good lineage. You'll remember Aiden Harmon, his brother, made about 20 stops a couple years ago down in Picayune. That was Ahmad Harmon. He was a really good linebacker, dressed in 8 tonight for Poplarville. Going to be another good linebacker. He comes in with 24 tackles.
Yep, senior linebacker number 28 is going to round out the captains for the Hornets. That's going to be Parker Pearson.
For the Tide tonight, that was Amari Scott that joined Bolden. It was also Xavier Jackson and Mario Monson for the Tide. That was the 4 captains for the Tide. Tide have broken out of that sign that we talked about. They've hit the turf here tonight, headed to the far sideline, headed to the near sideline, the Poplarville Hornets. That's the spattering of cowbells along with clapping and cheering for the home Hornets. 2 really, really good programs about to get after. Poplarville won their first school state championship a year ago in a thriller over Louisville. Picayune's been there and done that, Slick, many a time, and that's Jay Beach has done a remarkable job here for Poplarville. He had to do kind of a rebuilding effort. Cody Stogner had to have a tough job as well. You come in behind Coach Lee, what was already built, but to maintain it, maybe take a step forward. Neither had easy jobs. Both have done them remarkably well.
Yeah, done a great job, Clay. And I don't know if Picayune won the coin toss. We weren't down there, but if they did, I do like putting their defense on the field first. As we spoke already in our pregame, defense is going to have to do some tackling. Let's get those guys on the field and get them going early tonight.
Cruz is going to tee it up. He's dressed in 77. We'll see him play offensive line tonight. He's got 8 touchbacks on the season. Back deep to receive it will be Keys. He's over on the near hash mark to us. He's going to be near hash mark on your viewing screen.
Cruz has booted out several this year already. 3-4 yards deep in the end zone. Be interesting to see what we do here. Do we want to risk Keys getting his hand on it? Might see an angled kick, but we'll just have to see.
I'm going to say not. I'm not going to want to risk seeing him touch it to get things started. Martin's the other back, and it is that popped-up pooch kick in no man's land. Got a chance. Nope, Key's going to come catch it at the 22. I thought maybe the Tide would be able to beat him to it, but that's a tough task. Keys closed on it quickly. He ran a long way to get to that football, able to secure it for his club. Poplarville will start, let's call it the 25, Rick, to make the math easy. It's between the 25 to 26. We'll say they'll start from their own 25 to get things started tonight. That was well done by Edgar Cruz. Put it kind of in no man's land. Perfect kick.
Yeah, really good kick there, and it looks like Maroon Tide defense indeed going to come out with what I believe is going to be a 5-man front.
You've got Brody Kirkland, a linebacker, really snuck up tight to the line of scrimmage. Kind of playing right off the edge. Here is Ty Keys. He was set up in the shotgun formation, and he's loose. 45, midfield foot race. He hadn't lost one yet. He'll strike first tonight for a 75-yard touchdown run. He was set up in what we'll probably call the Wildcat tonight when he takes it in that formation, and 75 yards later, he has our first score of the night. So Mr. Keys gets loose for a 75-yard touchdown run.
And just like that, Clay, you put 5 men in the box, and that's one less person that's sitting back with a chance to tackle. When you break through that, man, nothing you can do there. And as you said, boy, he led up about the 15-yard line, and nobody close to him. One play, and 80 yards later, Hornets are on top.
Yep. 75-yard touchdown run by Keys. So he's touched it twice, had a nice play on the kick return just to secure the football, and then hits a home run with his first at bat. He's a two-sport guy. He's a good baseball player as well as Keys. He's got Division I offers scattered from one end of the country, whether it's Ole Miss or Oregon. All have come calling on Ty Keys. Special teams, Rick, rears its ugly head again here for the Tide. Give up a 75-yard score to get it started. See what this great offense can continue to do. We talked about it with our tail of the tape, our Talking Ball Y'all tail of the tape, averaging 319 yards per game on the ground, but you got to secure it first. If Coach Beach doesn't at least try an onside kick in this first half, I would be very surprised. And here's going to be an angling kick. It's booted to about the 15-yard line. Caught there, trying to find a little space. That's Fortenberry. Fortenberry electric as well. Has it to his 38. A good return by Darius Fortenberry. Time will start it at his 38-yard line.
Yeah, really good starting field position. Fortenberry, of course, with a 65-yard return a week ago. And I think the Poplarville kicker just missed that one, Clay.
Tide going to get a start here. We'll say from their own 38-yard line. This Tide rushing attack has been potent behind really good line play for the Tide. See if that continues tonight. We have a feeling it will. Wilkins will be at the tight end position closest to us. Jordan Hathorn over at the wing. As Zay Dennis to get things started. Makes a nice dance move at the 40. That will buy him up to the 42-yard line. Not a bad start. About a 4 or 5 yard pickup there by Zay Dennis. Dennis comes in with good numbers. 589 yards on the year. 7 touchdowns. He's got a touchdown catch. He came in with 8 per. That's a really good number and a pretty good spot here. Rick gets the Tide to the 43. So that's a nice first down play for Zay Dennis.
Yep.
2 wide receivers set. Jordan Hathorn to the right, to the left was McKinley. Another give to Dennis. More helmets there in pursuit. And a minimal gain, maybe a gain of 2 to get it to the 45. Beach in on the tackle. Lennox Beach, Shea Beach's son, making an appearance early in this one. Came in with good numbers did Lennox Beach as his 16th tackle on the year. Excuse me, his 19th on the year. Big third down early, 3rd and 3. Tide have it at its own 45-yard line. It's McKinley and Dennis back behind the senior signal caller, Colt Robertson. Ball over on the right hash. It'll be the power out to the left. Good cut. Midfield across with a dive up to the 47-yard line. A flag here by Mitchell Smith, continuing a block at about the 35-yard line. Almost certain it will go against the Tide. We'll see, though, because the Poplarville sideline pretty animated with their young man, too. Let's see which way this flag goes. Did I pull the trigger too soon? Let's see.
Yeah, if that's on Mitchell Smith, that was a late flag, Clay. You could see that down the field, and I thought he was within the whistle, but looks like they saw it different.
Yeah, it will indeed be against 72. Blocking a defensive back or a linebacker probably 20 yards away from the action, Rick, and that's going to back the Tide up. Had some momentum, had gotten it on the Poplarville side of things with 9:57 left in our opening quarter, but going to hurt ourselves with a unforced penalty, set us back to our 36-yard line. When you had gotten it across midfield, it really gotten it to about the 45 of Poplarville. One wide receiver out to the right. That's Johnson, Juju Johnson. So give to the fullback, McKinley, trying to go off the left side. Couple yard pickup to the 40. So McKinley, the fullback, going to get a couple and a half, maybe 3. If you want to be generous, and you may, Rick, over on that Excel spreadsheet.
Yep.
Get into some rounding action, round him up to an even 3.
Yeah, got a pretty good spot there. But, boy, this Poplarville defense holding their ground here. Come out in a 5-man front, got guys walking up on the edges.
A bunch of helmets in there, that Vegas gold look. You've got a playmaker out wide. That's Fortenberry. He's at the bottom of the screen. Speaking of playmaker, here is Dennis. He's gotten a 40. That's maybe a face mask here nearest to us. Maybe got missed. Dennis tackled at the 44, gain of 4. Bring up 3rd manageable here, Rick. Penalty to personal foul, set the Tide back, trying to get that yardage back, and more importantly, keep this drive going. Call it 3rd and 3. Ball rest at the Tide 44. It's on the right hash, wide side of the field over on the left. You'll have Jordan Hathorn in the slide. I believe that is Fortenberry wide of that. Here's Jamari Hathorn trying to find space. He's made the edge. Midfield 40. Up to the 41-yard line with a spin goes Hathorn. Hathorn's been that 3rd or 4th down back for the Tide this year.
Yeah, he has, Clay. He's been great and gets the edge, just so athletic.
Boy, he can burn, can't he, Rick? He's got a different type running style, kind of run standing a bit up, but he can pick him up and put him down. That's a 15-yard gain. There's an injured Hornet on the field. It's Jamari. It's been strange, Rick, in the touches that he's gotten. It's been on that 3rd down or that 4th down. He's been good when he's gotten it. We'll have to clarify. That's Jamari Hathorn. You'll hear a lot of Jordan Hathorn, cousins as well. Younger brother Jakai Hathorn in the 9th grade program, going to be a good football player as well. Paul's in the action is an injured Hornet. Looks to be one of their big defensive linemen, and they've got 2, Rick, who can really go, Lejeune and Lambert. This is actually going to be 9 for them. That's Lennox Beach. As he's going to be helped off, Rick, not putting a lot of weight on one of his legs. You hate to see that in a bunch of different ways. Yep. Always concerned. And then when it's the coach's kid, and Jay and Lauren have been so good to our brand, I hope Lennox is well here shortly. He'll be helped off the field. Ball at the 41 of the Tide is spotted over on the left hash. That was a good 1st down pickup, as the Tide will have 1st and 10 from the 41 of Poplarville.
Yeah, Maroon Tide using a lot of clock already here on this opening drive.
Here's another give to Hathorn. Good space created in the middle. He'll dive up to the 34-yard line. 7-yard pickup by Jamari. Mr. Hathorn with a pretty good gap to work with. The center and the 2 guards right up the gut did their job there, Slick. That would be Nixon, Burnett off to 1 guard, Bolden over on the other. Pretty good setup there for the interior line.
Yep, 2 really good rushes there by Mr. Hawthorne. First rush was for 15 and then has a 7-yarder there.
That was Jenkins in at center. Check that. I gave credit for Nixon, but that was actually Jenkins in at the center. Tied another penalty here before it gets going. I say another because I just want to clean some of this up, right? One was downfield a minute ago that cost you 15. Here you were in a great play call situation.
Yep.
One where you may take a shot, you take away a 2nd and 3 and now make it a 2nd and 8. Back it up to the 39, your own 39. Excuse me, Poplarville's 39. Jordan Hathorn was at the wing. It's Jamari Hathorn who's going to get it going straight ahead. Had to drive hard just to pick up 3 ahead to the 36 for Jamari.
Yeah, Maroon Tide going to be facing their 3rd straight 3rd down here on their opening drive. And as you mentioned, 2 penalties early on this opening drive. You don't want that. You don't want to go backwards at all.
No, because it changes the play call too, right, Rick? There's no telling what you kind of had in your bag for a 2nd and 3. Got some of the penalty yardage back, but face a 3rd and 5. You've got McKinley at the fullback position. You have Zay Dennis at the tailback. That's a sophomore followed by the senior in Dennis. Dennis with a nice move to lose 2 defenders, but the 3rd will get him right at the line of scrimmage. A ton of pursuit there, Rick. We credit the blockers when they're there. They were not that time. There were 3 Hornets kind of released and running free back towards Dennis. Dennis a junior, by the way. I messed that up. Called him a senior. We definitely want that last year for Mr. Dennis. But here, you lose a yard, Rick. Sets up a 4th and tough against this defense. Ball rest over on the right hash at the 35 of Poplarville.
Yeah, big 4th down here, and looks like the Maroon Tide's going to take a timeout. But, yeah, that last play, Clay, we've seen Zay cut that back so many times and be successful with it, but that time the pursuit from the Hornets closed that down, and they got just enough of him to allow the Cavalry to show up and resulted in a loss of 1. So big 4th down here in this opening drive for the Maroon Tide.
Indeed. 4th and let's call it 4, Rick. That was a nice tackle made by Cole Henry. He was the 3rd of 3 Hornets who had broken from their blocks, really surrounded Dennis, didn't allow any of his typical kind of getaway. All his escape routes were covered up. What do you expect the Tide to potentially run here? That's kind of in that in-between. Maybe you see a pass, a rollout from Colt Robertson, or do you keep it on the ground with Jamari Hathorn, who they've used in these type of situations before?
I think you have to really consider maybe throwing it here, Clay, on 4th down. We know that give it, say, maybe 5 yards to go, less than 5 yards to pick the 1st down up. I think you can run it and do that, but we'll see. I want to see where they put Hawthorne at in the wing, see if they run a pitch maybe to him out, try to throw one. It's going to depend on who's at that wide receiver spot for the Tide.
Kind of makes it worth putting all this equipment together, doesn't it, Slick, to get to see a play like this from this vantage point. Here's a big 4th down for the Tide from the 35. Going to go right up the middle with it with Dennis. It was a bit of a counter step, but pretty much right up the center and nothing to be had. Maybe a gain of 1 when you needed 4.5. Poplarville will get the turnover on downs, and I'm not sure if Zay decided to go back inside, Rick, or if that was designed for him to cut immediately back in the center, but it did not work.
Yeah, no, it didn't work at all, Clay. You wonder if that was maybe the right play call there, if someone missed an assignment, just had a defense call that was just the right call there. But certainly hate to give it back to the Hornets, who feel pretty good after scoring only in 1 play. But Maroon Tide run 9 plays and take a lot of the clock, just don't have any points to show for it.
Poplarville going to take over on their own 33-yard line. Will the Hornets high snap? Can the Tide get on it? Track Smith all the way back to his 13-yard line before he just falls down on it. That's a heady play. After a high snap had him retreat, he gets on it, just is going to take the loss, will Track Smith. Coach's kid type play there, and they'll actually spot it at the 14. But a huge loss, almost a 20-yard loss there for Poplarville on the high snap. Will set up second and really long here, Rick.
Yep, Maroon Tide going to stay in that five-man front. They've got Kirkland in a 50 defense. He's playing what we would call a monster or a rover position as the outside linebacker. They'll move him up on that side of the line. He'll look like a six-man front.
Ald's playing in the spot of Stallings. Another high snap, but an athletic grab by Smith. Going to go straight ahead, called his own number to the tune of the 17. So a 3-yard pickup. It's going to be third and about 25 here, Rick.
Yeah, and I think that was Nolan Smith that made that tackle. Mr. Track Smith found the business end of Mr. Wilson, 74. He's a big guy to run into.
Yeah, and it's a play like that, Rick, in high school football, I always want to credit a young man for holding on to the football.
That's a good point.
That's kind of a crash that will allow the football to hit the turf. Track Smith did a good job holding on. Good pursuit by the 4-star headed to Alabama. Single wing, shotgun set, and here he is again. 30, 35, he's got the first down and then some. Midfield walking the far sideline all the way to the 27-yard line. Just remarkable, Rick. He's touched it twice, and he scored with it with a 75-yard run, and here he gets it all the way to the 27 of the Tide.
And just such a patient run, Clay. He looks like he's not moving that fast when he's selecting his hole to run through. But, boy, when he hits it, he is moving.
Yeah, 0 to 60 really quickly. Now from the 27 of the Tide, it's the give to the wing. They're going to have a nice pickup to the 22 of the Tide. Going to have a 5-yard gain on the give to the wing. That was Nycam with a gain. Bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be open. We're going to have to be very, very disciplined watching those motions because, again, Keys, 2 big long runs on just 2 carries. It's going to open up opportunities for Nycan and even for Smith.
Keys to the left of Track Smith. The fake to Keys, and there it is, the eye candy. And Track Smith keeps it to the 16. It'll be enough for the first down, and you can see the flow just go with Keys. And a heady play call there as Track Smith will have it to the 16 of the Tide, a 6-yard gain for Track Smith.
Yeah, just a simple read option there, zone read as we call it, and Smith makes the right call there to keep it. Nice pickup.
1st and 10 from the 16 of the Tide. Poplarville with the drive. Had Poplarville 3rd and about 25 a moment ago. Here's Keys, 15. He's corralled, but it's going to be high on a face mask. It was going to be tackled at the 13, Rick, but it's not going to matter. They're going to move it half the different distance as Richardson got up high and face masked at the end of it. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's the way I saw it, and I think you're grabbing at anything you can get a hold of on Keys, and that time it was his face mask.
And that's going to be unfortunate, Rick. You had Poplarville in a get-off-the-field situation with the high snap, and now you look down there and look how far Poplarville has driven this thing.
Yep.
When they spot it down, I think it's going to be within the 10 of the Tide. And they will begin to walk in that direction. Tide haven't had an answer for this Poplarville offense so far. Ball over on the left hash. It indeed will be 1st and goal from the 7. Track Smith got his first start at quarterback a week ago. Looked really composed running this offense. Here he'll give it to Nycan, the wing, who's at the 1-yard line before he's upended and dumped down. Nycan with the give. He came from right to left from the wing position. Went from the 7 to the 1, and it looks like Poplarville putting in their heavy package.
And what a block by Keys, Clay. Pushes his man into the end zone to really set that up.
Good unselfish play by the tailback. He is at the Wildcat. He'll take over the quarterback spot here in the Wildcat. Going to go off the left side and will go in for a 1-yard touchdown run for Keys. Keys has 2 scores on the night. His team leads Picayune 13-0 as we await the PAT off the foot of Schultz. So not the start you were looking for defensively for the Tide. Gave up a 56 spot a week ago. Poplarville has scored twice with it tonight on their 2 possessions. Here's a high snap, handled well. The kick is up, and it's good for Schultz. As our Diamond Productions drive summary, Rick, you had a second and about 35 that they were able to convert, they being Poplarville, and then that leads to an eventual score, but you had them pinned really, really deep, couldn't get off the field because Keys was able to break off a huge run. And
and he does that on 3rd down. It was 3rd and long, just a simple give. Nice job by the Hornet offensive line, and it's not that we've just missed him. He's just gotten through. We haven't even had very many shots to put an arm on him tonight so far.
No, that's a good point because last week we kind of harped on it. You heard Cody talk about it. He gave a 20-some-odd number of missed tackles. Well, it hasn't just been arriving and being able to find Keys. Got to be careful here with an onside kick. Note will be a pooch-type kick in the direction of Fortenberry up at the 18. It's caught there. Here comes the return. Not a whole lot of space, making of it what he can. Up to the 35-yard line goes Fortenberry. They'll say the 34 is where they're going to walk it in and put it. Fortenberry's been impressive, Rick. Got to find a way to get him the football a bit more in these offensive sets. He's found a big return a week ago. Even the one he didn't score on was a nice return, and then he got an 85-yarder for a touchdown. And so Fortenberry's been a good returner for the Tide. He's a senior that'll play wide receiver as well in this offense.
Yep. Similar starting position from the first drive for the Maroon Tide. They had it at the 38, this time at the 34.
And used a bunch of clock, Rick, and then stalled out, turnover on downs the first time the Tide had it. Colt Robertson, the senior under center. He's got Kane McKinley and Zay Dennis back behind him. Couple-yard pickoff off the right side. And, boy, Poplarville really feeling themselves, playing off this home crowd after each and every stop, kind of motioning to their own sideline and crowd. Momentum fully on the side of the green and Vegas goal.
Yeah, but that's that big Sam Lejeune on the front. Didn't make the play, but certainly eating up a lot of space, creating a lot of havoc there.
Sure. 2nd and 9. Paul at the 35 now of the Tide. Here's the give to Hathorn. Jordan Hathorn up to near midfield. Enough, I think, to have the first down yardage, and it will be. They're waving the sticks forward to the 45, so the Tide going to get it. And, Rick, that's the play that they've been able to get it to Jordan in the sense it's not the old kind of wing-back give. Now they're giving it to the tailback who eventually gives it to that wing-back going from right and left. From right to left, he gets out in front of the tailback before he is able to get the football.
Yeah, be a 10-yard pickup there for Jordan on his first carry of the game.
Yep, his first touch turns into a good 10-yard pickup. We'll return after this 1-minute break with your second quarter action, as that will do it for your first. Poplarville leads at 14-0 over our Picayune Maroon Tide. We'll return after this 1-minute timeout.
Exotic Stone specializes in a variety of natural and manufactured stone and has proudly provided exceptional service, quality work, and low prices to the residents of Pearl River County and beyond for the past 17 years. They have 2 locations, 6895 Highway 11 in Carriere or 1171 Highway 90 in Bay St. Louis. Exotic Stones is ready to support all your commercial and residential projects. Give Angela Burmaster a call at 504-606-3170 or stop by one of their convenient locations to view their selection or to request a quote, and you'll be happy that you made Exotic Stones your choice.
We appreciate Kelly and Angela, their continued support of what we do here. Ricky Whitaker. Boy, Tide needs something good to happen here early in this second quarter. Trail it on the road tonight, 14-0.
Yep, got to get some points here.
Ball at the 45. That's the Tide 45, going from right to left in front of us. Colt Robertson under center, going to pitch it to Zay Dennis. Dennis with a good spin move at the 50, but held on for dear life by a defender. That was a nice play by Jamison, I believe, who held on to the jersey of Zay Dennis. I thought Dennis was going to spin and hit another gear, but Jamison just held on. It was a good run by Dennis.
Yeah, it was. Zay did a really nice job of absorbing that first hit, but someone had his jersey, couldn't quite spin out of it. And there's a flag, Clay, and I didn't see what that was. Might have been after the play.
It was a face mask, Rick. So not only did they have his jersey, they had his face mask. And so it'll take a good run and make it even better. Now going to move it to the 33-yard line. So Tide cooking here and need to, trying to cut this lead in half. Have it to the 33 of Poplarville.
That'll make that a 22-yard pickup there.
Jamari Hathorn now in. He mishandles the pitch. Retreats back to the 46 before he gets it. Look at this athleticism. 30-25 to the 21 goes Jamari Hathorn. He picked that pitch up eventually, Slick, at about the 43-yard line. Did Hathorn like he was strolling in the park. I mean, a loose pigskin down there. Mahart's up at about 150, and Jamari looks like he's on cruise control. Picks it up and finds great space over on the left side before he's eventually corralled at the 22-yard line.
And, Clay, you never want to see that happen, but he seems to make those routine plays. It turns it into a 12-yard gain. Had to run about 12 yards to get positive yards.
Boy, oh boy, he is something to watch, is Jamari Hathorn. Ty going to burn a timeout. Coach Steigner real happy, whether it's personnel or alignment. He doesn't like something that he sees. Somebody not going to have a whole lot of fun. No, it's the play clock that he's pointing at. He's upset maybe that the play clock didn't reset is what he's upset about, Rick. I thought it was a Tidesman, but he's pointing directly at the clock. And so he's going to want to try to get that timeout back. Not sure what exactly happened there. To reset it, Rick, Poplarville leads it 14-0. Keys touched it once, had a 75-yarder, and then Poplarville was able to get a turnover on downs, take its ensuing possession, drive it down the field, and Keys got a 1-yard touchdown run. So with 10:43, Tide at least trying to get it cut in half here with a pretty good drive. Spectacular play a moment ago by Jamari Hathorn on a pitch that at first blush maybe he should have called anyway, but he certainly erased if that's a mistake of his by getting 11 yards after the fact.
And we're going to see Jordan Clay line up at the tailback position. We haven't seen that a lot. I know you've been calling for that. I think this is a natural position for him. I like that with 14 at our tailback.
I do too. He'll get his first chance there tonight. It's a gift to Colin Agana. Agana turning those legs. Look at this youngin' move forward. Agana all the way to the 7. Speaking of guys I like at spots, I really like him at that fullback position. And then you had Jordan Hathorn lined up behind him, and that's a big run, Rick. He faced contact early in the run and just continued to grind forward, did the big sophomore.
Yeah, picks up 14 yards, Clay, and he's one of those kids who just flashes that he's getting better and better each week.
Yeah, he's great on the defensive side. He's still in there at the fullback. You've got Jordan Hathorn at the tailback. A fake to both and a give to McKinley. McKinley popped back to the 9-yard line. Will be a loss of 2 on the play. Tried to get it to McKinley going from right to left from the wing, and it was blew up from the start. Wasn't McKinley's fault. He had nowhere to go as that play was defeated right at the point of attack.
He makes the right cut there, cuts inside of Lejeune, but pursuit from the linebackers, and we've seen that from this Hornet defense tonight. They are pursuing very well to the ball.
Yep, a bunch of those helmets rallying to the football. A loss of 2 puts it back at the 9-yard line. 2nd and goal from there. Here's the pitch to Jordan Hathorn. follows a block. He's to the 2 before he is placed down on this turf. A good run there by Jordan Hathorn. Hathorn has it to the 2. Jordan has been lined up at the wing. He's been lined up at the receiver spot. He'll check out now.
And I like the play call, Clay. You put Jordan back there. He gets a lot of attention, but give it to Agana, give it to McKinley on the wingback reverse, and then when he does take it, nice 7-yard pickup there.
I'd almost bet my check Agana's about to get it here. He's at the fullback. He's got Hathorn behind him. Nope, they were going to give it to Hathorn. A whistle, a late timeout by defensive coordinator Chris DeWeese. DeWeese had snuck way down and got in the ear of an official. He saw the play, which is a bonus as a defensive coordinator. Tide probably going to have to flush that one. It was going to be a give off the right side to Jamari Hathorn, who had checked in. He was going to follow Agana probably into the end zone, but it doesn't count. A late whistle.
Yeah, boy, he barely got that timeout in time, but got it, and they're going to make an adjustment here, and we'll see if the Maroon Tide are content with staying with the play that they had called or if they want to change something themselves.
I think you almost have to change it, Rick, but the out kind of thinking that is they'll never guess that we'll just run it again. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can be clever and trick somebody in that way. Following Agana through that hole, it may not matter if you know it's coming or not, but it's a big play because you look at it, not too long ago, the Tide were turnover on downs with a 3rd and 4th down that really we were beat at the point of attack by this Hornets defense. See if the Tide can put a helmet on a helmet and open up some space. It will be Jamari Hathorn at the tailback. It will be Colin Agana at the fullback. McKinley is set to the left at the wing. Colt Robertson didn't get it clean. He's going to call his own number, and what a heady play. Didn't just fall on it, didn't get it clean, but still got it. Picks it up and runs it for a 3-yard touchdown run for Colt Robertson. You never see that, Rick. That's always one that the quarterback's just going to have to lay on. But Colt Robertson felt like he had enough space, had enough time. He picks it up, bootlegs it out to the right for a 3-yard touchdown run for the Tide. Tide a PAT away from cutting this lead in half. Low snap back. The hole was great by Tanner Rayburn, and the kick was even better by Edgar Cruz. Tip of the cap there to Rayburn. You never know what that 1 point will mean later as he was able to get it teed up for Cruz on a poor snap. Tide cut it in half, Rick, 14-7.
Yep, Maroon Tide run 8 plays, Clay. They march 66 yards. They take 4 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock, and it's capped off by a 3-yard, kind of a busted play as you called it. Very, very well you described that play. Colt Robertson goes in for his first touchdown of the night, first points of the night for the Maroon Tide. And you go back to that play, Clay, that was a weird-looking setup for them. They had McKinley set at the hip of Big Mitchell Smith. He had a receiver to that side, tight end by himself. You don't know what they were going to call there, maybe a pass out in the flats to the tight end. But either way, we get points on our second drive and puts Picayune back in this ball game.
Yeah, and Mitchell absolutely planted his man at about that L, spelling out Poplarville in that end zone. Incredible job by him. Right? You look at it, Tide cut the lead in half. There's 2 plays where the ball laid on this turf. That drive could have went way different on 2 different plays. Here's Cruz with a kick. Cruz has hit this one well, pulled out the driver and hit it about 5 yards deep. That's Edgar Cruz's 9th touchback of the year, and double sevens over there, 77. Eddie Cruz going to probably play in the midfield for the soccer team, shows off his foot, put a good boot in that one. So Tide put together a nice drive. Rick, we'll turn to you and get that Diamond Productions drive summary.
Yeah, so I gave it. They go 8 yard, run 8 plays, take 4:20 off the clock, and Robertson caps off a 3-yard scamper there to put the Maroon Tide on the board. And on the night, Maroon Tide averaging 6 yards per carry, a little bit below their average, but not anything terrible. Just got to finish.
Here's that single wing shotgun and opened up pretty nicely there for Track Smith. Calls his own number up to the 36-yard line. Excuse me, the 26, be a gain of 6. I just wanted to hear that drive summary one more time. Ricky Whitaker. Oh, man. Oh, boy. So a 6-yard pickup
hey, nowhere
there
else
by
I'd rather
Smith.
be, my friend. Nowhere else I'd rather be on a Friday night.
Man, we've got a good one going and got a good group joining us over on the YouTube stream. We appreciate Jackson Harrelson, the job he's doing on the camera work to our right tonight. Got good company up top. My young man, Walt Esslinger. We got a crowded up top, but it's a good crowd up here. Kevin Bice down that far side running the camera for another media group. Good cast of characters. Jason Baker down on the end. Rossi Creel describing action. We got a lot of options. If you're with us, we appreciate you picking us tonight.
Yeah, a lot of us up here.
Flag on the near side, Rick. See if this doesn't go against the Hornets and back them up. They had a nice play on first down. They were going to have a 2nd and short. That's going to kind of open that playbook up for Coach Beach. But let's see. A lot of discussion. I mean, this part drives me a little bit crazy here. You threw the flag. Somebody saw something. Mark it off. Let's go. And it will be that the Hornets got started early. Tide maybe needed that break a little bit here. Going to make it a 2nd and 8. Going to back up Poplarville to the 22. See if this defense can't get going, Rick.
Yep, Tide going to stay with that 5-man front. No safeties.
You've got a Ghana in the middle kind of anchoring. You've got Nolan Smith parked out on the right edge. See if Nolan can't cause a turnover in some form or fashion here. Track Smith going to give it to Keys, and the best job the Tide have done against Keys all night. Right at the line of scrimmage, 4 or 5 guys converge on Keys. That was a good job, and that was A.K. Burnett leading the charge. Got helped by Ghana, and the linebackers field where they were supposed to, led by Amari Scott.
Yeah, and you said, I mean, another high snap. We've seen several of them tonight from the Hornet offense, and they're between their center and quarterback.
Poplarville a bit off schedule. We'll go Wildcat with Keys. Is this a 3rd and 8? And he's got running room. 30, 35, 40, a high step across midfield. Boy, he is really, really good. And he's got it to the 42 of the Tide rather quickly. A big 3rd down earlier in the ball game. He was able to bust a big play. Here's done the same and has his team across midfield to actually spot it at the 43, Rick.
Yeah, another good run by him. Another patient run following his blockers down the field. Just great vision by Mr. Keys.
And it doesn't take but a little slither, right? I mean, you don't have to hold your block for all that long, but he does have great vision. Cody Stogner on the far side going to burn a timeout. We'll keep it here. This is a doozy of a ball game, Rick. But the loss of Kelvin Stallings against a run-heavy team. When we talk about run-heavy for the Tide, I mean, the Tide are at least flanking guys out.
Yep.
Describe to our listeners, in this single-wing shotgun, there's nobody flanked out anywhere.
Nope.
All 11 are packed in there tight offensively.
And they don't give you any split, so their feet are lined up just with no space in between them. Their feet are touching actually on the offensive line, but 2 tight ends is essentially what you have. So you can stick a guy like Lejeune in there on that offensive line or put him at a tight end spot for an extra blocker, but it is a total just scrum. It's a rugby scrum type setup, and Key's very good at waiting and finding the hole to cut through in that scrum.
And then the danger in that scrum, you can still leak a guy out, right?
Yep.
I mean, you can leak one of these wings that can run down the hash or a tight end. And if you do, I think you almost got to tip your cap. If you're having trouble finding Keys, if they hit you with a pass play, oh, well, I think you could almost live with that at this point. Ball at the 43 of Picayune. It's 1st and 10 from Poplarville from there. Track Smith calls for it, fakes it. He's going to keep it himself, and he's running through space. He'll be grabbed at the 36 and dropped down by Jordan Hathorn, but a pretty good pickup before the fact.
Yeah, Hathorn was trying to strip it, but again, those things are going to be open because Keys is getting so much attention. But a good tackle there by Hathorn.
2nd and 4, though, Rick. That's not where you want to live defensively. It just makes it really, really tough. And Track Smith's added a different little element to this offense over the last 2 ball games.
Yeah, Poplarville have been in second manageable all night tonight here in the first half.
Here's Keys off the right side. A good job by Grayson Alds and Jamari Hathorn. You want to split a bunch of tackles tonight. You want me naming 2 or 3 guys. You want Ricky Glenn describing a bunch of helmets. There you got 2, and that was Alds and Jamari Hathorn.
Yeah, we'll see Mitchell Smith check in for his first action, I believe, of the night, Clay, on defense.
Timeout, Rick, on the field as it's about a 3rd and 4. The ball rests at the 36 over on the right hash of Picayune. That was a good tackle. Twice this drive we've talked about Keys being stopped for just a yard or 2.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Coach Hayden not pleased with his defense. And I know that last time out he let them know exactly that. But you got a 3rd manageable here. I think for Poplarville you can certainly give it to Keys. But, boy, if you wanted to pull one out and try to sneak out a tight end from his down position, it's probably going to be open.
Yeah, or the same type of play that Colt Robertson just scored on, right? Even if you don't throw it but get Track Smith loose on the edge, and he's elusive. He's a good runner as Track Smith.
Yeah, he is.
You saw a different kid at that quarterback position to start the year, Ian McGee. All reports was he was banged up. That allowed Track Smith to potentially get the start last week.
And certainly not a small kid. Stands at 5'11", 173 or so as a sophomore, so a good-sized kid.
Yep, he looks good at that safety position, but it will be Ty Keys in the Wildcat here. He's got 2 backs in front of him. He drops the football, able to pick it up, and he'll have the first down anyway. That's unbelievable. Dropped it in the backfield, got a good hop back up into his lap, and then he just powers forward to the 31-yard line, does Ty Keys. Keeps the drive going. Tide trailing this one 14-7 with 5:35 left.
And that time in that Wildcat, it's like an old wishbone look without the quarterback. You got the 2 up backs there on each side in front of Keys, and then he is that single wishbone back that's back there.
Now back to the more traditional look for Poplarville, and that was Track Smith giving it to Keys. Keys bounces off 2 tackles before he's dropped down at the 19. That was Jordan Hathorn able to finally make the tackle at the 19, but he was able to bounce off of 2 would-be tacklers and has a first down for Poplarville at the 19 of the Tide.
Yeah, and that time tackling did play a factor in there, Clay, but Poplarville scored pretty quick on their first opening 2 possessions, but now burning some clock of their own here late in the second quarter.
Yeah, kind of more of their old style of football. Keys has brought a different element in that scoring quickly. This is more that 8 to 10 play type drive. It will be another give to Keys. Keys, that's what the Tide want. Run into the 4-star lap. As Nolan Wilson there to make a play. No gain on the play. Nolan Wilson had a lot to do with that. Good job of him defeating his block and making a play.
Yep, Maroon Tide defense going to need more of that, Clay. More of those big hits on Keys. He's been just far too comfortable tonight here in this opening half.
Hey, that's a good way to describe his style, too. Beautiful kid and looks really comfortable doing it. 2nd and 10 from the 19 of the Tide. Here's Track Smith working off the left side, and he'll get what's there. Up to the 13, a gain of 6. Goes from 2nd pretty long now to 3rd and very manageable after a 6-yard pickup by Track Smith. Just off the left side, Rick, and when they fake it to Keys, you got to flinch that way. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You have to take a step or 2, and so then when Track keeps it, you're off angle, you're out of position, and been able to take advantage of that as Track's got a bunch of rushing yards here in this opening half for the Hornets.
Yeah, every time he's touched it, it's been good.
Keys out of the ball game, and Poplarville going to burn a timeout. I'm not sure if Keys was winded, Rick, but I think that's a good timeout by the Hornets. Why run an offensive play if he's just winded? Burn a timeout with 3:31. Let him gather himself and put him back in if you're that Poplarville staff. I think for Picayune, you get a chance to certainly breathe a little bit and talk about this 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and really I think for Poplarville, you're looking at it as 2-down territory. If you can get a stop here, I think you're happy with putting the kicker out to attempt 3, given their high snaps we've seen tonight. I think Coach Beach is probably thinking about 2 plays here.
Yeah, that's a good call by you. Man, you hate to beg for something, Rick, but if one of those high snaps would allow Nolan or Javion or somebody to get back there and dive on it, you could use a break like that defensively. It feels like a long time between good things kind of happening for this group. I'd certainly take it. Let's call it 3rd and 4 here, Rick. You said if it is 2 downs, what do you do here? You give it to Keys potentially twice and just see what 5 does with it?
I think so.
Kind of hard to argue against, isn't it? Track Smith in the shotgun set will indeed put it in the belly of Keys. Keys trying to work to the right side, and he'll get it to the 10. That's going to be right at the sticks, maybe a yard short. Just short. See, indeed, it was a 2-play type strategy as Poplarville not even going to budge, going to stay. 4th and about 2 footballs here, Rick. Probably have to get it to the 9. Maybe not a full yard. You've got Track Smith and Ty Keys. Keys off the left side of Track Smith. Not going to say the hip because he's really about 2 yards over on the left side. There's a timeout on the field, Rick. Poplarville going to want to discuss.
Yeah, really good discipline there by the defensive line. That was Track Smith going with a hard count. Maroon Tide didn't move. Nice discipline there. And we'll see what they dial up here on 4th down. Again, I think if you are to send the kicking team out, that's what you would want for the Maroon Tide. It gives you your best opportunity to maybe get your hands on one. I don't think Coach Beach is going to elect to do that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and we saw the quarterbacks through the history for Poplarville be able to do that, even in a shotgun, a good hard head count, as you said, a bob there, and Picayune did stay very disciplined not to give up that free 1st down. That's a good description by you. This is a big play, Rick. You're asking a lot. I mean, it's not very far at all to go to get this, but if the Tide somehow were able to turn over on downs, it would be huge. We'll get a look at it as Keys will be off to the left of Smith. Smith in the shotgun formation is Track. He'll go behind the block of Keys, and he'll get it up to the 6-yard line. Really never in question. You mentioned Keys as blocking earlier, did a good job there, and Track Smith followed it right into the 6-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal now from the 6.
Yeah, and a really good play design there. We haven't seen that tonight from Poplarville, but they put the wing back in motion, and doing that clears out one of those linebackers and opens up some extra space there in the middle for Track Smith.
Keys now in at the Wildcat. 1st and goal from the 6. He'll try to work off the right side. He's got room, and he's in. 3rd touchdown of the ball game for for Keys, and gets it out to a 20-7 advantage as we await the point after. But Keys adding to that gaudy touchdown number on the year, as that will now be his 19th touchdown. That is certainly a mouthful for Keys. Hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good. So 21-7, Poplarville leads it after another Ty Keys touchdown. What'd you see there, Rick, on our Diamond Productions drive summary?
I mean, I think Poplarville slowing things down and really for the Maroon Tide defense, a little bit better job on Keys, but again, they still drove a long distance. But the positive thing here for the Maroon Tide is you're going to have 2:24 left to try to get 7 points, and you get the ball to start the second half. This is a pretty important drive here for the Tide.
It really is, and there's enough meat left on the ball, Rick, that you don't have to hurry, but you've got to be a little bit urgent, depend on this kickoff, because 2:24 with the way the Tide typically run their offense can dwindle down really quickly. We'll see what kind of kickoff the Tide gets set up with.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised, Clay, if the Maroon Tide come out and run a play they're comfortable with, maybe the power, and then try a pass on the second play, but we'll just have to see.
Fortenberry doesn't field it clean. Now he'll pick it up at the 12, trying to dance around, and he'll be tackled back at the 17-yard line.
That's Pearson, one of the captains in tonight's game, makes a good play, just not handled very well by Fortenberry. So not great start position for the Tide.
Pearson, a super hard worker, worked out with Earl Kessling and his speed camps throughout, getting in that extra work. Showed off on that nice play. And so it is that long field, Rick. So I'll kind of double down. Now, you don't have to panic, not that type of hurry, but you better have a sense of urgency here with 2:17 left, trailing 21-7 before our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Here's Dennis. Dennis trying to break it from right to left, kind of went away from the play design. He's looking for room. He's still alive, still weaving in and out of traffic. He's made something of it. 25-30, 35 before he's kicked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Dennis picks up about 20 yards, Rick, and probably ran 80 to get it as he weaved in and out of traffic, went from right to left before he gets back all the way to the sidelines. It's a first down after a very athletic run there by Zay Dennis.
Yeah, and I thought Zay had the edge, Clay, a little bit, I guess, confused on why he decided to cut that one back and burn that much energy on that play, but made the most of it, picked up 20 yards, and Maroon Tide still got plenty of time to work with here.
You speak of time. It took a lot of time to do what he did, as Jamari Hathorn will go from tailback to wide receiver prior to the snap. Down the middle, Wilkins wide open, put it on him, but he dropped it at the 47-yard line. Poplarville was going to have a nice run after the catch as well. Couldn't have been thrown any better, but not caught by Wilkins. A beautiful play call, as prior to the snap, you had taken Jamari Hathorn and motioned him out from tailback to the receiver spot. You got what you wanted, Rick, and just didn't make the play from Wilkins' standpoint. A drop at the 47 of Poplarville.
Yeah, hit him right in the hands, and kind of what we thought, Clay. Get a good pickup on first down. You got a shot to throw it, and Wilkins just couldn't hold on to it.
Junior James, the wide receiver nearest to us. He's the lone wide receiver in the set. 2nd and 10. Here's a pitch to Jamari Hathorn. He's worked himself all the way back to his own 22-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. As Jamari put it in reverse, Rick, and against this team's speed from Poplarville, they love to see that. As you're losing ground, they're gaining ground. They'll give him forward progress to the 29, which is pretty generous.
Yeah, I agree, Clay, and that's Lejeune again on that right defensive end spot, just getting outside and forcing the play back in for his pursuit to come from the linebacker position. He's been playing a heck of a first half here tonight.
1:47 left before the break. 3rd and about 18 here for the Tide. Going to set up shop back at the 29-yard line. Could have been worse. Really gave forward progress. Tide going to burn a timeout. Rick, you talked about the Tide trying to steal one. Coach Beach on this sideline nearest to us starts thinking, hey, maybe can we tack one on before we hit the break? And that's certainly not what the Tide want. You go from trying to score to trying to move it and keep a first down and maybe just get into the locker room trailing by 14. That's the kind of loss that was just taken on a run play.
Yeah, big loss of 8 there, and you said you described it very well. It got back at least, could have been a lot worse than it was, but got a play here to think about. I think if you can get a good pickup here on 3rd down, that may decide on what Coach Steigner does here to go for. But got to get near the 50-yard line to pick the first down up. Looks like it's going to be around the 47.
So what do you do, Slick? Do you tempt it and try to throw the football here to try to move these sticks, or do you stick with the run game on 3rd down?
I almost think you got to go to the air here, Clay. You're going to have single coverage up top. I think we've got receivers that can beat one-on-one coverage. But probably going to be a little bit different. They're going to have 2 safeties back and a cover 2 here.
So Coach DeWeese kind of thinking along with you, maybe looking for the pass. Here it is. Colt Robertson looking to throw, dumps it in the flats to Jordan Hathorn. Is caught, and he'll have the grab be well short of the needed yardage as he found Jordan Hathorn. Hathorn had just leaked out, and it's caught. Not near enough for the Sticks. Really needed about 8 more yards to gain the first down. So you're going to have the punt situation here. You're going to put the sophomore and Grayson Alds back at the, let's see where he'll put his heels, waiting for the snap back. He'll put his heels at about the 28-yard line. Keys back deep to receive at the 20. Dangerous situation here for the Tide. Just a minute and 5 seconds left in the half, trailing at 21-7. A good snap back to Alds. He's hit a high-hanging, pretty good kick. It will bounce at the 30, trickle inside the 29-yard line to the 28. So a pretty good job there by Grayson Alds, all things considered. But you're going to run your defense back out there with 51 seconds left. Haven't forced the Hornets to punt tonight. Haven't stopped this offense yet.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision to punt it there. You picked up 11 yards, but you were 13 yards short. I think if you'd have been closer, you might could have went for it there. But now, like you said, 51 seconds. We've seen what Keys can do with a lot less time than that. We got to make sure as the Maroon Tide get out of here without any more points.
Yeah, I don't think you had, as bad as you hated to do it, you had to punt that football and pray here that you get a stop before the locker room. Hornets on top, 21-7. And look at the formation. They're going to come out with Keys and a Wildcat. He'll drive forward, just running right up that right hash to the 34-yard line. Interesting here, going Keys with the Wildcat. We've seen that a few times tonight.
Yep, and we'll see them check the big 6'4", 280 Lejeune in. We haven't seen him on offense yet tonight, but.
And you get back to the more traditional look in a single wing shotgun as Track Smith back in at the quarterback position. He'll give it to Keys going to the right side. Good job there. A nice tackle. That was a very good play by Jamari Hathorn to make the stop. And that may do it for an interesting half. Not good news for the Tide in the first half as Poplarville going to head to our Animal Health Clinic halftime break. And listen to this crowd. That kind of tells you what you want to know. This home-standing crowd feeling pretty good about their Hornets here on homecoming, leading it 21-7. Rick, we'll get right into our first half summary from your perspective.
Yeah, so the Hornets get the ball to start, and it only took one play. Keys goes 75 yards for the touchdown. That puts the Hornets on the board 7-0. Maroon Tide has a turnover on downs on their first possession. Keys goes in on the second possession of the Hornets from 1 yard out for his second touchdown of the night. That makes it a 14-0 game. Picayune gets the offense going. Robertson goes in from 3 yards out to make it a 14-7 game. Poplarville scores again, another long drive on their third drive, puts them up 21-7. Picayune had to punt on their third possession, and then we had the half there for Poplarville, just kind of ran the clock out there. But Maroon Tide, 3 possessions in the first half, only got points off of one of them. That's something we haven't seen a lot from the Maroon Tide tonight, and you got to get a lot of credit to how hard this Hornet defense has played.
Yeah, indeed you do. We will get Darren Uzel's thoughts on this opening half and his thoughts on some scores around the way and a look at some college games, what that slate looks like. It's a beautiful slate, awesome weekend for sports all around as the Ryder Cup taking place, one of the better Saturdays we'll have in college football as well. And maybe we can get some better news on our Maroon Tide after the half. But currently trailing this one 21-7. Please return for our Animal Clinic halftime show after this 3-minute timeout.
Pit Lane Oil Change, located at 401 Highway 11 in Picayune, is a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the area for 15 years in the same location. They are a full-service oil change shop, servicing cars, trucks, and even servicing diesel trucks. Pit Lane is a Carfax top-rated service center. They offer new oil filter, air filter inspection, wiper blade inspection, power steering fluid top-off, check transmission fluid, coolant antifreeze top-off, and so much more. Their new hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and closed on Saturdays. Stop by Pit Lane Oil Change today and let them be your personal pit crew. At Planet Home Lending, you are more than just another transaction. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a veteran using VA benefits, or buying a secondary home, they have a home loan program that fits your needs. Planet Home Lending proudly serves Picayune and Pearl River County with FHA home loans, VA loans, USDA housing loans, and more. Give Melissa Rubel a call at 601-276-5058 or stop by their office located at 219C Telly Road in Picayune. Planet Home Lending will get you home.
Hello, football fans. Devin Smith here with Remax Premier Group in Picayune. It's August, and that means one thing. It's football season. Our area schools have worked so hard to give us all something to be excited about. I take great pride in my football roots in Pearl River County, and I'm honored to serve our people. I look forward to helping residents, both old and new, make Pearl River County their home. I would love to help you with any and all of your real estate needs. You can contact me at our office, 601-798-3399 or 601-347-2641, or you can catch me in the stands cheering on my favorite players under those Friday night lights.
Looking for a peaceful home-like community for yourself or a loved one? Welcome to Jubilee Gardens Senior Living in charming Poplarville, Mississippi, just minutes from Hattiesburg and Gulfport. Imagine cozy, garden-themed suites with wide doorways, step-free entry, safety rails, and a covered porch perfect for sipping coffee while watching birds and butterflies. Feel supported, not overwhelmed. Our all-inclusive services include daily housekeeping, fresh home-cooked meals at our Birdhouse Bistro, and a calendar full of wellness programs and social activities. Families say we chose Jubilee Gardens because it felt like home. One resident shares, "I spend my mornings on the porch drinking coffee and watching the birds. It calms me in a way I never experienced before." To experience the comfort and independence of Jubilee Gardens yourself, call 601-818-4838 or email jubileegardens.care@gmail.com. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's Jubilee Gardens Senior Living with dignity, safety, and joy in every detail.
Healthy pets, happy people, exceptional medicine, compassionate care. That's our motto at the Animal Health Clinic in Picayune. Located at 500 Kelly Road, we are equipped with the latest veterinary technology and provide a full menu of animal health services, including after-hours emergencies. Dr. Alan Smith invites you to join our clinic family by checking out our website at ahcpicayune.com or calling us at 601-799-1300.
Welcome into the Animal Health Clinic Picayune Maroon Tide halftime show. We are live here at the top of the crow's nest here. Pop Vegas, as they call it, the Hornets' nest. Poplarville Hornets are leading this contest over the traveling Maroon Tide by a score 21-7. Darren Uzel joining me here in the booth for halftime. Darren, 21-7, you've been down on the field tonight. Maroon Tide only getting points on one drive out of three tonight. What are you seeing down there that's been the difference in this first half for the Hornets?
Ty Keys. I mean, this is the first time I've got to see him live and in person. I know last couple years we haven't played Poplarville, and when Ty was playing, so tonight was the first time I really got to see him play, and he is as advertised. He's a big kid. He can run the ball. He's got great vision, and so you got Ty Keys, and then you got their offensive and defensive line for Poplarville. They're playing great. They're playing great ball. I mean, they're getting a push on both sides of the ball. So I'd say that's a difference up front. really is Ty Keys and Poplarville's offensive defensive line looks good.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Look, we've played some good bats. We had 2 good bats last week with Ocean Springs. Had the Crosby kid for Gulfport. I think Keys is definitely the smoother of them all. Looks like he's not moving a whole lot, but kind of reminds you of almost like a Le'Veon Bell type runner.
Yep.
Real patient, just smooth, follows his blocks very well, good vision. And, boy, when he does hit a hole and go, he's good, man. He may be the best of the bunch so far that we've seen this year.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you. Poplarville's defense also playing very well. One of the things I've noticed is with Lejeune on that outside, he's going to the strong side of the line, but he is not allowing any outside anybody to get outside of him. He's sprinting out there, making them push back in, and it's allowing for Poplarville's pursuit from their linebacker core to get there. It's made it tough tonight. So we'll have to see what adjustments that the Maroon Tide make here in the second half. But overall, man, we had some poor tackling on one drive. Couple of misses on Keys, but for the most part, we haven't even got our hands on him a lot.
No, Rick. He's elusive, and once he gets past our linebackers, it's tough. It's open field to tackle him in the open field at this level. He's so far ahead of some of our guys, and I mean, even any team that he meets, I'd say once he gets in the open field, it's gonna be tough to tackle Ty Keys. So, we are doing all right, I'd say. We could play better. I don't know. I know it's homecoming for Poplarville. They've come out with a lot of energy tonight. I don't know if we've matched them in our energy yet.
No, we've looked kind of flat, I think, on both sides of the ball. I don't think there's been anything wrong with the effort. We just seem to be a little bit flat tonight. Hopefully we can get it picked up here, but this is a tough place to play.
Oh, yeah, the Hornets.
Very good 4A opponent. You know, Coach Beach, as we talked about in our preview episode this week, doesn't shy away from scheduling talented teams, bigger schools to get ready for district. So first half dress rehearsal, not what you want. Getting ready to open up district next week for everyone. Of course, Picayune going to have a bye week.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, man, I think we've got a long way to go. We got to get points on the board here to come out in the second half. We got to get a stop on defense, which we have not done tonight.
We have not done that, and it would have been nice to score on that last possession we had before half, and then get the ball back at half. I think no doubt it would have increased our chances. But yeah, getting a stop tonight and seeing Poplarville's punter, that's going to be that's a tall task. So far, I mean, as we're looking in the first half, it's going to be a tall task in the second half if Poplarville comes out playing like they do. But, you know, we're going to see what Picayune comes out with tonight and in that second half. And, you know, against Gulfport, their first game, they come out, that first half kind of and that second half they come out with a lot of energy and shut them down, you know, pretty much. And so we're going to see. We're going to see. But, hey, listen, Poplarville is a very good football team. They're a very good football team, and they wasn't state champs last year for no reason. And I know they lost some, but they got some good kids, man. You got Tyke Smith, a sophomore playing quarterback, and you look across that line, they got some sophomores, young kids on Poplarville side too. Hey, but we do too.
Yep.
We got Grayson playing middle linebacker. And
made some plays tonight.
He's a sophomore. You got Kane. You got Egana, and you can go on and on with us as well. So there's a lot of young talent on both sides of the ball. So you can expect some mistakes here and there, but that second half we can just hope Poplarville makes more.
Yep. Yeah, you got to come out, and you've had some opportunities, I think, too. We've seen some high snaps.
Yeah.
Cost Poplarville a lot of yards back, I think, on their second drive. Ended up converting with a long Keys run. I don't have any official stats for Keys, but got the 75-yard rush. He's got a 3-yard rush for a touchdown, the 1-yard rush. And then he's broke some long ones. He's got to be over that 200 mark, I would believe, in the first half.
Yeah, it's a lot.
If not, he's really close to the 200-yard mark.
Lot.
So
yeah, he's running the ball a lot like Crosby did on us last year at Gulfport. Remember, he just kind of sliced and diced us up too. But this kid's good. It's good. And he's just a junior, right? Is he a junior? Oh my goodness.
Yep, just a very, very patient runner. Doesn't look like he runs violent, but a very, very smooth runner, very patient. Adjustments need to be made here for sure to come out in the second half. But Maroon Tide trailing 21-7. We are homecoming here for the Hornets.
Well, I'll say this. If you got any doubts in your mind in tackling Ty Keys, you've already lost.
Yeah.
You better go in there committed.
You got to
You got to be committed.
You got to put a hat on him.
Yep.
And got a drone flying over here. It looks like about around the 50-yard line. That's pretty neat. We're going to take one more time out. When we come back, Darren Uzet will look around our district, and we'll look some scores and get you guys caught up with that. We appreciate you listening. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hello, football fans. Devin Smith here with Remax Premier Group in Picayune. It's August, and that means one thing. It's football season. Our area schools have worked so hard to give us all something to be excited about. I take great pride in my football roots in Pearl River County, and I'm honored to serve our people. I look forward to helping residents, both old and new, make Pearl River County their home. I would love to help you with any and all of your real estate needs. You can contact me at our office, 601-798-3399 or 601-347-2641, or you can catch me in the stands cheering on my favorite players under those Friday night lights.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio, lighting, video, content development, and production management. With an uncompromising attention to detail and a standard of excellence that exceeds expectations, we deliver seamless events that engage, inspire, and impress. At Diamond Productions, the bar isn't set for us, it's set by us.
All right, folks, we're back here. We're under 6 minutes here before the start of the second half. You joined us late. Maroon Tide trailing the Hornets here at the Hornet Nest by a score of 21-7. Darren Uzet, let's take a look at the district and our scores and Pearl River County, see how we're doing. And I believe 7A started their district play tonight with the exception of
Yeah, they did.
Gulfport, who has got Pascagoula this week, right?
Right. Yeah, you're correct, Rick. Well, of course, we know we got the score 21-7 here. Poplarville leading Picayune Maroon Tide. We got Summerall Bobcats leading the PRC Blue Devils 17-14. Excuse me, at halftime. We got Greene County leading Gaucher 21-7. Now I'm getting all my scores off of WLOX scoreboard. Stone and George, we got them at 0-0. Let's go on down here. Some of these 7A guys. West Harrison leading St. Martin 14-0. Gulfport, Pascagoula, 19-7. Gulfport leading that matchup. Then the Iberville 35-0 over Harrison Central. Biloxi getting beat by Ocean Springs 28-0, who we faced last week. So, yeah, Rick, Gaucher get beat by Greene County. PRC getting beat as currently by Summerall, and Pascagoula getting beat tonight. So across our district, we're not looking. We're losing.
Yeah, you think about it, man. I think we all thought this. I mean, you take St. Martin and West Harrison. That was the game of the week for the Coast. St. Martin, a very, very well improved team on the 7A ranks, but
yeah,
West Harrison putting some pieces in place, getting closer. But you're always like, man, you got to go to 7A. That's not. You feel sorry for their opponents now. They're getting things going. Dominated the Hornets here in the opening game, taking care of a good St. Martin team as well. So
we watched. I mean, we watched West Harrison progress.
Yeah.
I mean, and you knew there was just a couple plays away, even last year, of just being really good, and they've put it all together this year, it seems, and they playing some ball.
Yeah, rolling well. So, and you said Pascagoula was trailing 19-7 at Gulfport.
That's right. Yep.
So, So district play going to start on the 4A ranks and the 6A ranks next week. Of course, Picayune going to have a bye week, but we're getting into where everything counts week here. So, So let's take a look back, Darren. We had some.
Yeah.
We'll start with PRCC. I know you weren't able to take that game in. We were both able to watch it, but not a whole lot you can say negative around just the fact that you got a lot of injuries. You got your third-string quarterback in. You were up, 17 or was it 21-10 at one point, maybe 14-3 at one point on a nationally ranked 4th or 5th, depending on how you want to flip it, team in Gulf Coast, but couldn't pull that one off. But team fought very, very well.
Oh yeah, Rick. I mean, if you're a Wildcat fan, you can hold your head high. The boys played hard last night. They didn't quit, and with third-string quarterback, he looked good. I mean, he looked good last night. I think they're going to be okay. The next 4 games are very winnable.
Yeah.
I believe the next 4 games are very winnable for the Wildcats, and assuming nobody else gets hurt, and we're just thanking the Lord that Ian's progressing and got released, and he's doing well. That's the main thing of the week, that he's doing well. He's still with us, and the other guys that had surgery, Reese, and then you had Marion have surgery. They all went through it well. So leading up to the game, you had some victories. That's the victories that count. They're making it through those surgeries, and but yeah, they played well last night.
Certainly played hard.
They did really good, and Gulf Coast has got a lot of talent there in the fourth quarter. They just played it on a few big plays and beat us deep.
Well, we got to see Barnes in person. We know how good he is, and a couple of good receivers too. And I think Coach Smith said it best in his post game is, 2-3 big plays was the difference, and I think that it was exactly that.
Absolutely.
Well, let's take a look back at last week. We had what? Did we pick Florida again?
Do we need to?
Yeah, I think we have to. But did we pick Florida again?
Somebody getting horsewhipped this week?
Nobody got horsewhipped, but
oh man.
That was Vandy. Vandy's the horse whippers of the SEC so far. But Florida State, we thought maybe Florida could bounce back there. Florida State took care of that one. Any intriguing matchups? We've got some good games this weekend.
It's a slate this way, man. You got Ole Miss, LSU. That's going to be a good one. They got some things personal going on between the two of them now. Good gracious. So, and then you got State and Tennessee. I'd love to see State upset Tennessee, and then Bama and Georgia. Who's Clemson playing? Dabo's kind of spiraling, man.
Yeah, man. Lost another one there in Clemson. So, who's your upset pick? You got any
Penn State, Oregon?
Penn State, Oregon's going to be a good one. You got an upset pick this week?
Man, look. I'm going to go with them dogs tomorrow, man. I'm going to go with them dogs.
That's right.
They're not ranked. Tennessee's ranked. Tennessee's coming in.
Okay.
We're 4-0. They're 3-1. It don't mean nothing, but, this might be the year. This might be.
Did you tell me that they're going back with the interlocked MSU
tomorrow?
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
We're going, I know you love that.
Then I'm going to watch. I don't see anything masculine about the cursive state. I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
That might be why they quit teaching cursive. I don't know. We don't.
Bring back the old MSU, the old Jackie Sherrill MSU. That's what I want to see, man.
It looks good, man. I go back with it. I don't mind the cursive, but I do like the interlock, the old school stuff. But that's going to be a good. Man. If I pick, I'm usually wrong always.
Well, you won with State already, so that was our long win of the week. So, but it's early.
But I'd say Oregon State, even traveling across the country to play Penn State. Everybody's thinking Penn State's going to win. I think Oregon State might go in that wideout and surprise them.
Yeah, and your boy Dan Mullen's doing some things at UNLV too.
I don't even want to talk about Dan.
He turned some things around. Left the best job he ever had.
All he had to do was win 8 games, beat Ole Miss, and man, you have a forever job.
Man.
Just make it to a bowl, beat Ole Miss, and you can stay there. You can stay there.
Loved it in Starkville.
What?
Loved it in Starkville.
I don't even
top
get
10 paid coach, but
but you see what happens when you
get
out when you get out of the Lord's will.
It's the lure of the swamp. Yeah, the swamp lures you back.
Oh yeah.
Oh
man. So I don't know, Rick. Man, tomorrow's gonna be a great time to watch some football, and maybe the Saints can lose another one and we'll get the first pick in the 2026 draft. That'd be, you might as well. Saints are just on the.
They have looked terrible this year.
Good gracious. Oh, man, I've seen more people trying to sell tickets now than I have in a long time, man.
Do you make a change at the quarterback, or is it just in general?
I don't even know if Spencer's playing bad, man. I don't know. I don't even, man. It's just hard. It's hard, but still go Saints.
It is. It's hard. It's going to be hard for the Tide here. Got to get a comeback down 21-7. Man, I appreciate you stopping by.
I always enjoy it, Rick.
Chatting football with me here, and
we need.
Gotta have a big opening drive here for the Maroon Tide. But we're about a minute and change here from the start of this second half. We appreciate Darren Uzel joining us. Appreciate Dr. Alan Smith and the Animal Health Clinic for sponsoring our halftime show. So we're going to take one more break. And when we come back, Clay Sweet, the voice of the Maroon Tide for the Talking Ball Y'all Media Group, will join me back in the Crow's Nest for a second half call. Get you a snack, something to eat. Second half action on the backside of these commercial breaks.
Roll Tide.
Go visit Heron Ford, located on Memorial Boulevard in Picayune, Mississippi. They are your proud local Ford Lincoln dealer. Whether you're looking for a used car or a new car, or if you have service needs, visit Herring Ford, once again located on Memorial Boulevard in Picayune, Mississippi.
Schultz has it teed up back at his 40. A dribbler, so to speak, fielded at the 41 by, let's call him our middle infielder right there, Jordan Hathorn. So Ty going to take over with pretty good starting field position here, Ricky Whitaker. That's going to be the good news. See if the Tide can do something coming out of the locker room, trailing at 21-7. We appreciate the sponsorship, Dr. Alan Smith, and our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Colt Robertson going to tuck himself under center. Kane McKinley behind him at the fullback position. That is Zay Dennis at the tailback spot. Let's see what we have here, Rick. A timeout to get things started.
Clay, something to look for here in the second half. What they're doing is they're moving the Big Lejeune over to Mitchell Smith's side, and he's been really making sure that he's not allowing himself to be blocked down, almost sprinting out to try to turn those plays back inside, allow the Hornet defenders, especially the linebacker position, to pursue and make those tackles. So let's see what the Maroon Tide does here and how they decide to attack these edges on this first drive.
Yeah, good pickup by you as usual. Ty going to get some help here too, Rick. Poplarville started it with 12 men on the field, so now we'll move it up and be 1st and 5 from the 47. A poor pitch. A pitch that went one way. Zay Dennis was headed the other. He's got it, but he's all the way back to his 32. Ty going to have a hold. Dennis still dancing. Smart move. Just get down. A play's not going to help anyway, as this is going to be a hold, Rick. I'm almost positive against the Tide. Boy, you see Colt Robertson and Zay Dennis talking after the fact. The senior and the junior not on the same page of music there, as Colt pitched it one way. Zay Dennis was headed another. Tide have put it on the turf 3 times tonight, have survived it without turning it over, but I think this is going to be a big loss for the Tide. I'm hoping I'm wrong here. Let's see. Yep, there's our holding indication. That's going to go against the Tide.
That's going to back us back up again. The good yardage that we got back going to bring us back again. And you know, I hope Zay's okay. Clay, he just hasn't looked kind of like himself tonight. Sat out longer than we usually see him sit out in the first half, so I hope everything's okay with him. But it's very, very hard when a play just reverses field like that for everyone to not hold. But McKinley did a good job on his edge to seal it, and then after that was the hold.
The Tide running backs tonight have tried to make 2 or 3 of those. I call them like Little League type running plays where you shift. Here's a pass out to Hathorn, dropped. Hathorn had it momentarily and dropped. He's going to have to try to make a run after the catch, unable to, of course, secure the football first. And so the second half looking a lot like the first half so far for the Tide. After the penalty, you've got a young man shaken up for Poplarville. But after the penalty, Rick, a ball that was going to be swung out and trying to make a play after the catch, Jordan Hathorn, before he secured it, and just dropped it. Tide were going to have good starting field position. Shaking up Hornet, getting off under his own power.
It's been a lot happen here, Clay. It started this to only be second down that we're looking at.
Yeah, that's a lot to kind of put together there. Some scores that stood out at the half, Rick, that you heard you and Darren Uzel report that you'd like to inform me on. What we got going on around the way? What was the Pearl River Central score?
17-14, they were down to Summerall, but boy, the game of the week, I think, for most of the Coast Channel was St. Martin and West Harrison. West Harrison 14-0 over them. They have been quite impressive.
Yeah, they really have.
That's a good St. Martin team, too.
Yes, it is. So that's an interesting score. Speaking of interesting, see if the Tide can do something, Rick. Injured player up and out. And that was Nathan Brown. We'll hope that he's back in soon for the Poplarville perspective. Here's Dennis. Didn't catch that pitch real cleanly, but was able to get his head turned back and head north-south and had a nice pickup. Got most of that penalty yardage back and then some. Will set up the Tide. And a third much more manageable here. A 3rd and 7. Ball rest at the Tide 46-yard line.
A really good block down the field, too, by Mr. Colt Robertson, our quarterback.
Good job there by Ford, getting out and leading away. Ball over on the right hash. Pretty big 3rd and 7 here. Tide's first possession of this second half. Jordan Hathorn goes from right to left. Pitch going out to the right side. Strong run here by Dennis. Finished it off nicely. It was going to give him the first down to the 46 of Poplarville, but a flag right at the point of attack, Rick. It's going to be big to see what this is. Normally where it's laying is a hold. We're going to hope that that's not the case, but it is. As they will say, holding against the Tide. They're going to back up Picayune. Picayune's been backed up twice already in this drive. Locker room speech maybe didn't take, Rick, as Tide kind of look the same coming out of the half. See if we can bust a big play. You know, that's been Poplarville's key. They've had huge trunk runs. You've got the Excel spreadsheet. I need you to put a 3 in front of one here, about a 30-yard run or catch, pass and catch. You were going to have that with Wilkins on the play over the seam, and that was potentially going to change the way the half ended. Ontario just couldn't hold it.
Boy, they're just struggling with where to spot this football, Clay. It's been like that this whole game.
Yep, a lot of discussion between the crews here. Neither staff particularly happy. That'll leave it up to you to decipher if a good job's being done or not when neither staff's happy. There's the hold. They told us that 10 minutes ago. Now they'll finally march it back and put it at the 36. It's kind of like that second drive summary, Rick. They told us twice about it. I asked you for a redo on that Diamond production. That was a great moment when you told me, well, I've already given it to you.
I was
once,
proud, man. I was proud of myself,
so
too.
good.
I said, man, that was a good one. And I said, maybe I didn't do it good enough. I'll do it again.
Oh, man, that was a great moment for me when you hit me with that. Oh, man, 3rd and about 17 here, Rick. Tide have reversed it to their own 37. Colt Robertson with ball that is, I think it was tipped coming out of his hand. Either way, it's going to be over the head of Dennis and incomplete, trying to get Dennis leaking out. The backfield and incomplete. Look at this. Tide going to come out of the locker room and have to punt it away, Rick. All's the sophomore punter. Back for the Tide, awaiting the snap back. You've got Ty Keys. I'm not sure if electric or dangerous is even enough for him as he's back at his own 22.
Maroon Tide, Clay, came out with a little flat to start this game, and you usually don't see them come out of the locker room as flat as they were. I think they were a little even more flat.
No, maybe the highlight of the night so far has been Alls' 2 punt attempts. That was another good one by the sophomore Grayson Alls. Tip of the cap to him. If some of that may get lost, if you're able to put a comeback together, you may look back and say, well, Grayson did a really good job in some tough moments here. It hit at the 30, will trickle down to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, the nice, long, hard run by Ghana. We love our fullback, but, man, just hadn't been a lot of those big chunk runs that we're used to tonight.
No, that's where the explosive play is going to come from. That kind of tells you what kind of night it's been. Here's a gift to the wing, who's in as much space as the wing's been in all night. Probably a horse collar to end an 11-yard run. Nope, they'll think better of it, keep the hanky. But it was an 11-yard run as Nakan got as much room as he's had to operate, going from right to left at the wing spot. Look at this, Rick, so well blocked, and you've got to flow with Keys, and it makes this offense super tough to defend. Has it to the 33-yard line, an 11-yard gain to start this drive. Here's Track Smith. He's going to go out to the right. He's a wide receiver with Keys at the Wildcat. Keys trying to get loose. Good game tackle effort there by the Tide, but even in saying that, Rick, that's still what, about a 6-yard pickup by Keys.
Yep.
Man, my favorite sports center, the sports center I grew up on, was Dan Patrick and Keith Olderman. And Dan Patrick would say, you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him, and that has been the feel here tonight for Keys. Even when you tap the brakes against him, you look up and he's got 6 more to his total. Ball to the 39 now. This is Track Smith, who's tackled right away. That was a good play defensively. That was Alds, Grayson Alds, getting a start tonight. And we maybe haven't said this enough. Stallings, the leading tackler, linebacker position, out for the Tide. This is not a great ball game for one of your linebackers to be missing. As many reads that linebacker position probably having to make tonight, but the Tide without Stalling services.
Yeah, and Alls has done a good job. He's made some plays tonight. We've called his name several times.
Going to have to call it several more. 3rd and 6. Ball at the 39. Here's Keys again. Keys stopped right at the sticks, or did he push forward? He did. Going to have enough for the first down. After that nice play by Alls, Keys needed 5, went and got 5.5.
Yeah, the thing you can hope for is that he bobbles a snap a little bit, which he's done a couple times tonight, but hasn't really mattered.
Keys is one of these kids. I mean, he comes in with you just off the chart numbers, right? And so you're thinking, even watching him on tape, how does this going to match up when you see him with your own eyes? Here he's looking to throw and got Track Smith wide open at the 40 of the Tide to the 35. And we knew we'd see him throw it eventually, and he just did. Had a wide open Track Smith. Complete. Keys to Track Smith to the 35 of the Tide. There's a flag that comes out late. This will probably add 15 more onto the play. And Rick, we talked about it midweek. I kind of asked you, or you asked me, when do we see Ty Keys throw the football? And we both thought it'd be this week, and there it was.
Yeah, and I think this was against Poplarville for a very long, as a late hit after the play by one of the Poplarville linemen.
They're just going to say a sideline warning is all it's going to amount to be. And so Poplarville now has it at the Tide 35, Rick, putting together a pretty good drive after getting a defensive stop, trying to add to this 21-7 advantage. If you're joining us on the YouTube channel, thanks for taking in the action tonight. Keys, for the first time tonight, probably going to have a loss of 1. Back it up to the 36. That's what you want, some penetration. That was Igana, really good football player. So two going to check out. Yeah, and they tried to check Igana in, and Mitchell said, where are you going? Stay out here. And so he will, as you will have Colin Igana come back. He was halfway to the Tide sideline. Tide trying to figure out what they're in defensively. 2nd and 11. Ball at the 36 of the Tide. Here's a give to Nakan. If he gets the edge, he's going to be really loose. He has 25 up to the 20. Great misdirection. It was in the hands of Keys for a moment before he slipped it in the belly of Nakan. It's the Tide play, really. It's the same type of play that the Tide have gotten into Jordan Hathorn when he's at the wing position. Same type of design. And there, Nakan's had 2 pretty nice runs here from the wingback position to aid this drive.
Yeah, and the holes at the offensive line are opening up or just continuing.
Speaking of continuing, that's a personal foul against the Tide. face mask, going to add big yardage on to the end of it. 21-7. Poplarville looking for more here with 7:17 to go in the third quarter. Tide desperately need a turnover. Poplarville probably not going to throw it. Probably going to see it on the ground. You need a fumble here, Rick, in the worst way to get a stop, as you have Track Smith at the quarterback position, Ty Keys at the tailback on the left. It will be Track Smith calling his own number. He will knife through. The ball's loose. Ball's loose in the end zone. Tide got it. Tide going to have it and get a touchback. Ball got loose, and the Tide going to get on it. I'm up here basically begging for a turnover. The Tide going to get it. Going to be a touchback. Ball got into that Vegas Gold end zone, and a Tide's been able to find it, Rick. See if that doesn't change this ball game, as Track Smith looked like he was going to score, and then you see a scramble for the football, and a Tide going to come up with it. What a big stop defensively.
They needed that, Clay. Just haven't given much resistance at all this open and defensive possession here for the Maroon Tide, but caught a break. Somebody made a play and get the ball back, and no points. So still got a lot of time here, but got to get something going offensively.
Yep, you mentioned it. Plenty of time, Rick, if you do get it going. You trail by 14, but we're halfway through the third quarter. A little bit less than half as 7:08 remain in this third quarter. Senior quarterback Colt Robertson tucks himself under center. Here's McKinley from the fullback spot, and he is stuck 2 yards into his run. Did a good job holding on to the football as somebody got a free shot at him 2 yards into it. That's Parker Pearson. Pearson's played a well of a football game for the Hornets.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard-fought 1-yard run there, but as you mentioned, just good to hold on to it. Ran into a host of Hornets.
And Pearson had that helmet right near the football. Good job there by Kane McKinley holding on. He's at the fullback. You've got Zay Dennis at the tailback. Jordan Hathorn goes from right to left. He's at the wing. Here's a pitch to Dennis. Dennis busts one here. He's out to the 30, and that's it. Well, they'll say to the 31. A lot going on after the play. As you hear the Hornet crowd wanting a flag, there will be none. Let's see if this spot doesn't give the Tide a first down. It will be. Got to be a first down. It's past the 30. Started at the 21st and 10 for the Tide. That's good news, Rick.
Yeah.
Being able to kind of string one here together, get an opening first down of this drive. I need you to give me a drive summary here in about 2 minutes and get the Tide to cut this lead in half. We'll see. Heat timeout. Heat timeout. And it's been that type of night, right, Rick? Tide maybe with a little momentum after a nice run by Dennis, and then here's the heat timeout. It's just been that kind of night. Up 59 north to Poplarville.
It's been
Not
tough,
a whole lot's going right for the old Tide tonight, Rick. But
yeah, and look, you can't make any excuses for the score. Coach Steiner and his staff certainly not going to do that. But you've mentioned this a lot, and it's a very good point. Man, when you're coming off of a very, very hard-fought, physical game like the Maroon Tide had a week ago, that can certainly play a part in making things a lot tougher to get ready and composed. Sometimes you have a little bit of a physical hangover from games like that, but Maroon Tide's still in business, and with 5:47 to go here in the third quarter, you've got a lot of time, but got to get some points here. Points are going to be very, very important on this drive. You don't want to continue to fall behind here. You got an opportunity, was able to take one away, and now you got to capitalize on it.
Yeah, this will be big to see what the Tide can do to trying to continue this drive. 1st and 10 from the 30. A give to Jordan Hathorn, who was in at the fullback position, and he is loose. 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5 touchdown. Jordan Hathorn, a 70-yard strike for Mr. Jordan Hathorn. What a big play. I'm scanning the field. I see no flags. Boy, we talked about an explosive play, and Jordan Hathorn able to do just that with a 70-yard touchdown run for Mr. Hathorn.
Yeah, it's a great run there, Clay. That's exactly what we were talking about. Let's see if it ignites a spark for this Maroon Tide defense to come out and get another stop.
His 4th rushing touchdown of the year for the senior Jordan Hathorn. We'll wait the snap back and the hold and the kick from Cruz. The kick from Cruz is up and good. Cut it in half, and you can feel a breeze in the air, and it felt like momentum had flipped sides just that quickly. You get a turnover in the end zone, and much like last week, Ricky Whitaker, Ocean Springs took advantage of a similar type turnover. The Tide turned it in to a touchdown just a few plays later, a 70-yard touchdown run for Jordan Hathorn. Let's get your thoughts on that Diamond Productions drive summary.
Yeah, so Maroon Tide only run 3 plays, Clay, and they go 80 yards, and it was capped off by that beautiful 70-yard touchdown run by Mr. Jordan Hathorn, his first of the night, and I believe that may put him over the century mark. No, it was really close, 3 for 87. He also has the 11-yard reception. So closing on 100 all-purpose yards, but that's what the Maroon Tide needed to do. They needed to strike there.
Boy, that was big, right, Rick? That turn of events is what you needed. Here the Tide look a little trickery, potentially, as Cruz has it teed up. He's got a bunch behind him. He's only taking a 3-step drop, does Cruz. Now more traditional look for Eddie Cruz. You've got Keys back at his 11. Cruz has hit it well. They're going to say let it go as it's caught right at the end zone. Here's Martin with the return to the 21. And hear that roar in the background? That was a good special teams tackle. And going to have a long field in front will the Hornets because of a nice tackle made by Mario Monson. Monson was one of the captains tonight, and that was a captain-type special teams tackle. Cruz kicked it right to the goal line, Rick. I really thought they were going to say that was a touchback, but instead, Tide going to make Poplarville start at its 18.
Yeah, and it certainly worked in our favor. I thought his feet were back there as well, but end up getting a couple yards in the positive for the Maroon Tide defense at the worst starting position for the Hornets tonight.
Let's see if it gets even worse as there is a flag. And it's going to go against the Tide. Tide going to have a penalty to start this drive defensively. So just when we kind of bragged on what Poplarville had going with a long field, longest of the night, Poplarville going to be aided by a 5-yard pre-snap penalty, get it to the 23.
Yep, the Hornets send motion. That makes the Maroon Tide jump.
Here is Track Smith with Keys to his right. It'll be a give to Keys. Keys trying to avoid a couple tacklers and will do that up to the 29-yard line. Be enough to move the sticks when you had a 1st and 5 situation. It's a 6-yard game, but that's all you needed to move the chains.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you're back in this football game. This is going to be a pretty important possession for the Tide on defense, but just don't want to have any big runs here. If you can hold them to those short yardage runs, that's really what you're asking for here out of your defense.
Here's a fake to Keys, a run by Track Smith. Nolan Wilson in on that tackle, aided by Grayson Alls. A gain of 4 off the left side.
Yeah, a little better job there defensively. Boy, Track Smith has hit us on some of those runs. Tonight, that may have been one of his shorter runs of the night. So nice job there of holding him to just 4.
Yep, starting to narrow down some of those. That's a good call by you. You've said a 5-man front. That almost looks like 6 up on the defensive line for the Tide on this snap. And Keys has walked through it. He's up to the 40, to the 43-yard line goes Keys. A lot of helmets up on the line of scrimmage, Rick. And that's what Keys did to Pearl River Central last week. Tide did a good job of not allowing him to score on that play. And that sounds crazy, but he was about a step away from hitting a home run. Did get the first down, did advance it to the 43, but Tide didn't let him scamper off for a score. Poplarville leads it 21-14. A fake give, and here's a pass. Track Smith trying to find Nakan over his head, incomplete. Good awareness and good coverage in the end by Curry for the Tide. Stayed right with his guy, was right where he needed to be.
Yeah, really good coverage there, and Hornets elect to take a shot there, and I think that's a good time to take a shot if you're the Hornets there on first down, but still second and manageable here for them.
Yeah, it will be 2nd and 10. Ball rests just off the tip of the Hornet logo here on their own side of the field. 3:46 left in the third quarter, 21-7. Poplarville on top. I'm Clay Sweet. To my right, as always, Ricky Whitaker. Thanks for joining us tonight. Here's Keys with blockers. 45-40, ball loose. Tide, did he get on it? Ball was loose. It's still loose. Tide awfully excited. And back-to-back turnovers caused here by this Tide defense, who I have really given a hard time tonight. They have showed up with back-to-back turnovers, punched it loose from Keys, and then a scramble after it. Tide gonna take over at its own 44-yard line, Ricky Whitaker.
Well, that is exactly what we needed there. Keys, another long, patient run. That time someone got their hand on it. I couldn't see who knocked that in, Clay, but put it on the ground. It changed hands a few times. Maroon Tide back in defense and ready to try to tie this ball game up here.
Xavier Richardson won the fight for the football. He was who able to come out of the pile. You made a good point. We'll credit somebody with knocking it loose to start it, but Richardson won the fight for the football. Boy, has this game changed in just a matter of moments. Here's Dennis trying to find just a slither of space to work with. Dennis, though, there, Rick, there weren't a whole lot there, but he went and got the 4 yards, and that's part of being that Picayune tailback, is making that choice right there. Hey, there's not going to be a whole lot here, but I'm going to get all I can out of it, and he'll set his team up in a 2nd and 6 after a pretty good run off the right side.
Yep.
Ball at the 48-yard line. All the momentum in the world finally has flipped to the maroon and gray. 2nd and 6. Ball over on the right hash. Jordan Hathorn goes from left to right. Here's a give to McKinley. McKinley gets it to midfield, but that's it. A gain of 2. Bring up 3rd and 4 from the midfield strike. What a scene this is in South Mississippi, Rick. People lined all over the wrought iron fence here in Poplarville. A lot of people wanting to see this one, and they've gotten their money's worth. Been a heck of a football game to this point.
Yes, it has.
Tide feeling a bit better about themselves. Junior James, the wide receiver furthest out to the right. It was Hathorn tucked in tight at the slot receiver. And a late push. Don't do anything silly here. It's going to be a 4th and about a yard and a half after the interior give. That was Dennis, I believe, just trying to fight ahead, Rick.
Yeah, that was thought his forward progress maybe had him a little bit closer. I don't think he got a favorable spot, but
the Tide fan base across the way is furious about something late going back to the huddle. Either way, it's going to end up 4th and very short, as something the Tide fan base didn't like, but no flag thrown. McKinley, the slot receiver, going to be a timeout on the field. You're going to put McKinley in the slot. You were going to have Curry come out and be the wide receiver, but 4th and about a yard and a half here, Rick. What do you think after the timeout we see the play call to be?
I don't know, Clay. They've held up so good against the run. I think if Agana's at the fullback position, I say let's see if Agana can get you that yard you need there. But a very important 4th down here for the Maroon Tide nonetheless. Maroon Tide really just been staying with their base offense, trying to win the battles that they can win. I think Colt Robertson's threw some good balls tonight. We had a couple of drops.
Boy, this is going to be crucial coming out of this timeout. 4th and Tide need, what do you say, Rick? 1.5 yards here. Is that fair? We're looking right down on it.
Yeah, I thought it was a little closer to that, closer to the sticks than that, but.
Listen to that. In the background, both fan bases know how crucial this one is. It's going to be over on the right hash. 1.5 yards is what the Tide need to pick up. 2 wide receivers set. They're both over to the left of the formation. Pitch to Jordan Hathorn. He's got it. Going to dive forward for about a 5-yard pickup. Only needed 1.5 yards of it. And look at that, a crucial situation. And who was in at that tailback spot but Jordan Hathorn. And went and got a good physical run behind his blocks. Have it to the 42 of Poplarville. 1:15 left here in the third quarter. Tide doing just what they need to do. Have caused 2 turnovers here in the third quarter that have shifted this ball game.
Yeah, Jordan Hathorn has lit a spark, Clay, for the Maroon Tide offense.
He has indeed. Colin Igana at the fullback. A great block by him. Here's Dennis. 35-30. Slithers to the 22-yard line. But, boy, Colin Igana checked the guy's hole with a big, big block from the fullback spot. And they got the fullback out wide here, Rick, as Igana motioned and got out wide and threw a heck of a block. There's Hankies late. Flags late. Let's see who this is against. The run got Dennis up to the 22. We've got 1 personal foul against the Tide, 1 against Poplarville, and that's the old-fashioned offsetting. So the play will stand. You've got Dennis to the 22-yard line. One of Dennis's bigger runs of the night.
Yep, going to be a 20-yard pickup for Zay. And keep the sticks moving for the Maroon Tide. Nice run by Zay. Yards per carry average for the Maroon Tide in the first half, Clay. Not too good. Below their mark, but up around 9 right now. They were about 6 in the first half.
Well, yep, when that trend continues, you'll probably see the trend on the scoreboard continue to go in the right direction. Here's Colin Igana. Gets it, but that's a minimal gain for him. But it's still not bad on first down, Rick. Like, I thought Poplarville, with all that humanity, wasn't going to allow what they did, but.
Yeah, we're so used to seeing Igana break off those 10-plus yards when he does touch it. A pretty normal run for a fullback, right? But
yep, just about a 4-yard pickup. Gets it to the 19. Kind of gotten spoiled with Colin and how well he's been able to move bodies, but does tuck it inside the 20 down to the 19. Maybe the final play of the quarter here. A mishandling of the give to Igana as Igana and Colt Robertson kind of stepped on one another, and it just allows Igana to get back to the line of scrimmage, as that will be the final play of the third quarter. We'll go to the fourth with the Tide trailing it on the road tonight, 21-14. Come back, buckle up. It should be a heck of a fourth quarter when we return from this 1-minute timeout. We appreciate you taking in Picayune Maroon Tide football here with your Talking Ball Y'all crew.
Pit Lane Oil Change, located at 401 Highway 11 in Picayune, is a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the area for 15 years in the same location. They are a full-service oil change shop, servicing cars, trucks, and even servicing diesel trucks. Pit Lane is a Carfax top-rated service center. They offer new oil filter, air filter inspection, wiper blade inspection, power steering fluid top-off, check transmission fluid, coolant antifreeze top-off, and so much more. Their new hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and closed on Saturdays. Stop by Pit Lane Oil Change today and let them be your personal pit crew.
A fresh 12 minutes here on this fourth quarter clock, and an old-fashioned heavyweight fight between two of the elite programs across the entire state. And we've got them nestled right here in Pearl River, County.
Yes, we do. Maroon Tide getting ready to start their 8th play of this drive, Clay.
And it's a big third down, Rick. Ball at the 19-yard line, 3rd and 7. Have it to the Poplarville 19. Need to make a good play here on 3rd to make 4th doable if you're in that mindset, and I think the Tide probably are. McKinley moves from right to left at the wingback position. That looks like Fortenberry. Fortenberry, 19 yards later. Darius snuck in the backfield, slid over from his wide receiver spot and got loose. Called for him to touch it a few more times in the first half. And boy, oh boy, what a big touch there. 19 yards later, Tide a PAT away from making this one even.
Yeah, Clay, beautiful run there. Change of pace there with Fortenberry. Got pretty fresh legs, not covering a whole lot of people tonight. Let's get him some work in the backfield.
Boy, he is hard to find, too. Here's the kick, a big kick, and it is true. Gets it to even. Boy, we talked about the Tide, the body language, sluggish. Halftime speech didn't take. Starting to beat up on Seth Hayden, Tyler Smith, Coach Poole, some of that defensive staff. And then 2 turnovers later, Slick, have it a 21-21.
Yeah,
what a gutsy comeback.
What a great drive. Maroon Tide on their 8th play of the drive. End up going in. It's Mr. Fortenberry from 19 yards out. He capped off an 8-play drive where they go 56 yards on that drive. Clay, 2 turnovers for the Hornets to start the second half. Tide capitalized on both of them. If you went somewhere, shame on you. We got a 21-21 ball game here in Pop Vegas.
Woo, what a ball game. Coach Hart, Coach Poole, Coach Smith, and Coach Hayden on that defensive staff got some things sorted out, got a couple turnovers, and then the Tide offense coming alive. Got some help there with Fortenberry, his first snap or second snap at the tailback position, and a 19-yard touchdown run to cap it off. What a way to start the fourth quarter. Tide now are going to kick it away. Cruz with that bright pink mouthpiece, going to pooch it down to the 28. Well done there by Cruz. Nice fair catch called for and made from the Poplarville perspective.
Yeah, I mean, credit the adjustments by the offensive line and the whole offensive group here in the second half. As we've mentioned, we've talked about Lejeune a lot and what he's done and the other defensive end on the other side of him, really taking the outside away from the Maroon Tide, but they found some things in the inside, even cutting those powers back a lot more up those A and B gaps that we're not used to, but it worked there for a 19-yard touchdown.
Even a Maroon Tide band sounds a bit better here in the fourth
Everything sounds a little better tonight.
Absolutely. 21 all here at the Hornets' nest. 11:51 to go in this one. Here's a give to Keys. And Keys kind of pounded there. He gets it to the 30, but he paid for it. That's a 2-yard pickup, and that's about as hard as Keys has been hit tonight. Good job there by the Tide.
That's what you want to see, and it's not going to stand out, Clay, but a little bit of a weird exchange that came from the quarterback.
Just enough to help.
Just enough to help get that pursuit there, but we're going to keep an eye on this center quarterback exchange.
2nd and 8. That's a bit more on schedule defensively than the Tide have seen for the most part. Here is Smith. Smith hammered at the 28. No gain on the play. And maybe a 2-play sequence that we haven't seen all night for the Tide with a minimal game and then a no yardage game. We haven't really seen the Tide go back-to-back defensive plays like we just saw there, Ricky Whitaker.
No, and haven't seen very many tackles for losses tonight, especially on Track Smith. That time, boy, he ran into a wall of Maroon Tide defenders, and they made sure he stayed that way. So now going to be a pretty long third down here for the Hornets. Going to be third and somewhere around Derby for them.
Yep, 3rd and 9, Ricky Whitaker, the ball at the 29 of Poplarville. It is Track Smith and shotgun. He's got the ever-dangerous Ty Keys over to his left. Offensive staff, this is interesting. Coach Beach on the offensive side going to burn a timeout. That's not super usual for him, but he will burn one here. He didn't like something in the setup there, Rick. He's not a guy that burns a whole lot of offensive timeouts. He normally saves that for his defensive unit to be able to use. But he knows the stakes here, a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, boy, look at that Maroon Tide huddle. You see the Bull out there, just been a vocal leader, been a great football player, certainly missed, but he's hobbled out there, and he's getting his defense going tonight, too,
What
Clay.
a great pickup by you. Macon Burnett is who Ricky Whitaker is describing there, and that certainly deserves to be highlighted. That young man on the scooter getting
rolled out there, didn't he?
Yeah, that's neat to see. Good
Get him
pickup
going, Bull. Big
by
3rd
you.
down here.
It indeed is. 3rd and 9. Poplarville has it in its own 29. Keys to the left. A fake to him. Looking to throw is Smith. He'll survey the field, let it go, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. Great coverage on the play. And the ball is incomplete. This is a unit we're unfamiliar with, Rick. It's going to be Poplarville's punt unit. Haven't seen them all night long. We've got a defensive back who's called a cramp, as that was really good coverage by the young man that's cramping.
Yeah, really good pursuit there by Nolan Wilson on Track Smith. Good coverage. And, boy, a different looking group here of this Maroon Tide defense. Not doing anything different, same 5-man front, but for Poplarville to start this second half, turnover, and now what we think is going to be a punt.
Yeah, and I think that's Cam Quinn who's down. And I say cramping because you're taught not to speculate, but it's pretty evident that that's what he is getting worked on.
They're stretching him
right
out,
now.
and you tell me not to do it. If you don't do it, I'll do it. So one of us is going to speculate.
Yeah, that's always a broadcaster's move. Say, we're not going to speculate and then go straight in to speculation. That was Cam Quinn, who's been really good this season for the Tide in the defensive backfield. He's hobbling off, still suffering from that cramp. But look at this, Rick. We haven't seen this unit. Maybe the Tide come after him.
I think they're going to go after him, Clay, and I don't know if that's the same long snapper that also does the centering duties, but we got to look for a snap here that you can jump on.
Brown, their punter, going to catch it at about the 17-yard line, his 17, as Jordan Hathorn around midfield for the Tide. Snap back was a good one, and Brown's hit a high, pretty good kick here. Let's see what it does when it hits. It's going to take a Picayune bounce back to the 46. As Hathorn got away from it, the bounce was headed backwards, and so Tide gonna take over, and it's 46. Boy, what a job the defense flipped this ball game. Got 2 turnovers, and now have gotten themselves off the field.
Don't take much, Clay, for the old momentum to swing, and it started on a great Poplarville drive. They go the length of the field but turn it over. Bands even struck up neck. I mean, there's a lot of – everybody's excited now on the Maroon Tide side.
Absolutely, and momentum is so fickle. Tide possess it at this point. Jacob Nixon in at the center position for the Tide. Fortenberry was again in at the tailback position, and that allowed Jordan Hathorn to move up a spot right to that fullback spot and made good work of it. I don't mind that combo there. That's a little Jordan Hathorn and a Darius Fortenberry action in the backfield for the Tide. And a 7-yard pickup. Slick will call it let's give him 6 and call it 2nd and 4 as the ball advances to the 48 of Poplarville. 21-21 and what has been a ball game here this evening. 9:25, all that's left in this one. Here's a pitch to a Darius Fortenberry, trying to find a little gap. Not going to do so, and a flag. That will be pivotal as he got to the 46. Going to be a couple-yard pickup, and a flag came in right at the point of attack. It actually rests right where the bodies were being unfolded. And a face mask, Rick. Even a penalty starting to go to the Tide's
Well,
way.
I didn't want to say it, but I was hoping it was that, judging on how Fortenberry fell, but I didn't know. And, boy, when there's a flag thrown, he's a big offensive lineman for Picayune. They're always with their hands up, so you don't know if it's them. And
yeah, they got that didn't do it look. Gonna move it, Rick. Did they move it? 41 is where they're gonna rest it down. So put it at the 41 of Poplarville. Kane McKinley over at the wing. He's on the right side. Here's Fortenberry. He's danced in and out of the hole up to the 29-yard line. Goes Fortenberry. You talked about it, a little juice in those legs from Fortenberry, and he got loose. They'll spot him at the 30 instead of the 29, an 11-yard pickup. So Fortenberry's touched it 3 times, Rick, and he's working on a pretty good night already back, getting some snaps at that tailback spot.
No, he certainly is, Clay, and we'll give you some numbers on him, too. Well, we got a second here. Darius Fortenberry, 4 touches, 38 yards, and a touchdown. You take it into consideration the 70-yard run by Hawthorne. Those 2 guys have lit a big-time spark for this offense.
And here's Agana. What a great individual tackle that was by Harmon.
Yeah.
Harmon makes a nice tackle on Agana. When one guy gets Agana, he deserves the praise that he will receive right there. The linebacker for Poplarville with a great individual effort by Harmon. He still gets a couple up to the 33, but that was a great stop made by Harmon. Boy, there's a ton of good football players on display in front of us tonight.
Yes, there is, and we got the best seat in the house, man. Thankful to be a part of it.
Wilkins over at the tight end at the right side of the formation. As Zay Dennis back in at the tailback. He'll fight off a would-be tackler at the 25, fall forward to the 24. Jackson Harrelson allowing other people to have a pretty good seat at it as well with his camera work. And Diamond Productions.
Probably a Hornet defense for the first time tonight. Clay got their hands on their hips. We haven't seen a lot of that out of them tonight. Defensive ends have been really not going up the field, keeping outside contained, taking away that reverse that we like to do with our wing back, but they look tired right here, Clay.
Junior James going to be with a wide receiver out to the right on that right side, as well as Kane McKinley at the wing back. A straight give to Zay Dennis. Can his speed get the corner? It has. 15 down to the 14. Boy, Zay Dennis finished off that run. That was a big finish by the slender back, and Zay Dennis lowered his head as he was headed out. Kind of an attitude there with the finish in a good way by Dennis. Going to pick up the first down, Rick, and get it to the 15 when they finally spot it down here. You've got an injured Hornet on the field.
Yeah, that's a 18-yard pickup there by Zay Dennis. We talked about the defense looking tired, and he made a Poplarville defender pay.
He did, being escorted out. Good pickup there by Dennis. Wide receiver on the right side, that's Jarrell Curry. It's a give to the wingback, McKinley. McKinley was hit at the 15, but his strong leg going to allow him to get to the 12. McKinley, a dual sport guy, catcher. Used to using those strong legs back there. Catching, he used that to kind of drive forward for an extra yard and a half after contact. Going to bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that staying at home on those ends. We'll see if Picayune's trying to set them up for something here on that run.
Fortenberry back in at the tailback. It'll be a give to Fortenberry coming off the left side. Tried to dance back in. When he looks at it again, Rick, he may be wishing he went out wide with that one. Gets to the 11, but that's it. That was a good pursuit by the Hornets, and there was a lot of traffic. Adarius chose to stay in tight. I think when he hits play and huddle, he's going to wish he bounced that one out. 3rd and 7 here, Rick.
Yep.
Ball at they're going to say the 12 after the spot. Brandon Illett, the wide receiver, he's over on the left. You've got the fullback in Agana and Zay Dennis. It'll be a pitch to Dennis. Nowhere to go so far. He's at the 15. He's looking to reverse field. He's at the 20. Edgar Cruz do a heck of a block. 10-6. He got to the 6. Did they flag Cruz on a block here? I thought it was clean, Rick. You'll be able to see with our delayed monitor here, but I thought Cruz, it was a crushing block, but I thought it was clean in the moment. I even called it so. Zay Dennis was going to be able to get it to the 5.
Yeah,
all the flags came out. Was it a clip or a blind? What are we going to see?
That was a clean one, but the second one that occurred, because there were 2 bodies laying out, was the one I think that they flagged us on. But again, you see the sprint by these ends. They're getting out to that edge. There's nothing out there. Zay tries to cut it back around, and his teammate trying to do everything they can to help him out. But, no, I think Eddie Cruz had a great block, and it was a clean block Second one, though, was the flag.
You make the description, Rick, and for our listeners at home that are audio only, it's almost like a kick return where you start on one sideline and break it all. We've had about 3 of those, and it's great vision by the backs and really good athletic play, but it's almost impossible to legally block when your backs do that. And the illegal block has the Tide all the way back to the 35-yard line. So it is 3rd and 25, my friend. Jamari Hathorn at the tailback position. Igana at the fullback. Cole Robertson's back. He's looking to throw. He's got time. He's going to take a shot. Can Fortenberry stay in? He has. What a dime. Cole Robertson dropped it on Fortenberry with just a slither of that Vegas gold left. Toe tapped and caught it. What a throw. Colt Robertson to Fortenberry. Tide lead it 27-21 as we await the Diamond Production point after.
Wow, what a play there. Fortenberry been doing it from the backfield. Goes back to his natural spot at wide receiver and on 3rd and very, very long. Maroon Tide had on the 11, back him up to the 24. I'm sorry, back him up to the 35. It's a 24-yard turn of field position.
What a heck of a throw by Colt Robertson. Credit the guys up front, right? Gave him some time, but Rick, he was running out of space, and he dropped it in a little bit of a slot before Fortenberry runs himself out of the back of the end zone. What a beauty. Those 2 guys have done that for a long time, whether it counted in front of people or whether it was on their own. Colt Robertson and Adarius Fortenberry's 2 seniors hook up for a big play. And for the first time tonight, the Tide lead at 28-21, 5:36. What a second half by this Maroon Tide group.
By the Maroon Tide, Clay. That time they go 8 yards. They run 8 plays. They go 54 yards, take 4:27 off of the clock, and it is capped off by a beauty. Pitch and catch from Mr. Robertson to Mr. Fortenberry for 35 yards. And Mr. Fortenberry, he's got one now through the air. He's got one on the ground. And the Maroon Tide have scored 28 unanswered in this second half.
Boy, oh boy, man, what a half here by this group against a really good football team. I mean, this isn't like you doing this against some pitiful 3A club. This is the defending state champs at their house for homecoming on a 4A level. And the Tide have come storming back in the second half. Cruz has it teed up over on the right hash. Pink mouthpiece hanging out. This is center cut. Pooch type kick, but it got too much of the center. Down to the 30 to the 35. A good return. And Poplarville going to have better starting field position. Going to start at their 35-yard line. But what about this defensive unit, Rick? Yet to give up anything in the second half and have done even better than that. Have added 2 possessions to the ledger with 2 turnovers.
Yeah, Clay, and you can't say enough about Fortenberry. He ties it up with a big run to make it 21-21, and then comes back and has a 35-yard reception from Robertson. And by the way, he got both feet down too.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Wow. Got the NFL score. Got both feet tapped in. Here's a give to Ty Keys. Keys midfield. 40 down to the 35. Credit Jamari Hathorn, and then also good effort by Curry, and that may sound silly, but that's maybe a carry in the first half that he scores on, and he didn't there. It gives Tide additional life even after a big explosive run. He doesn't run away from Hathorn, who has track speed, able to stay on Keys and allow this drive to continue to the 35 of the Tide. It is Track Smith at the quarterback. It's Keys to his left. Track calls his own number. And he is through the gap to the 26-yard line. That's more of what you saw in the first half. A big run from Keys paired with a nice play from Smith. Yep. And that combo has the Hornets down to the Tide 26 rather quickly.
Yep, and you got to keep the intensity up. You got to make sure you're tackling well because you're up 28-21, but you still got to defend 5 who's in the backfield.
Yeah, and he is certainly a playmaker. at the 26, a give to Keys. Keys bounces in and back out to the 22. That was good pursuit by the Tide, though.
Yeah, really good pursuit there. Keys tried to get it outside. Wasn't there for him. It's been there some tonight. That time it wasn't.
And Alds has earned himself some additional snaps, even when Stallings comes back healthy. He's shown himself well at portions of the night. We've got a lower extremity injury here, Rick. Not good news at the 22. When we speculated on a cramp earlier, I'm going to say this is not that. I don't think this is good. Ball rest at the 22. So does the Tidesman. 28-21. Tide finally have crawled on top in what is an incredible second half effort. Has shades of Ocean Springs a year ago, where you went into Ocean Springs. I think everybody was dressed that night too. I believe it was their homecoming, and you come storming back against the Greyhounds. Been a similar effort here tonight.
Yeah, you just got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting and catch a break and get a turnover, and it just lights a fire.
That's Moto. That's Jamari Hathorn. He's got a foot that he's not putting any weight on, Rick. That's terrible news. Use him on both sides of the ball. We had just credited Jamari with a really good effort play to keep Poplarville on the field and not let Keys run away from you. Keys to the left of Track Smith. Smith calls for it. He'll put it in the belly of Nakan. Nakan at the 20-15, down to the 14-yard line. He's been good at their wing tonight. Nakan's been a option C, if you will. If Keys certainly is A, Track Smith's probably been B, but Nakan's been a real good C option tonight.
No, it certainly has. And again, the play of him and Smith has really been a lot of the reason why the production has stepped up for the Hornets over the last 2 weeks and going to be the same tonight for their offensive numbers.
Nakan going to go more in an H-back situation here than a true wing. It'll be a give to Keys. Keys stood up. Is he stopped? He will be, Rick. Maybe a yard gain, but that's it. A good gain type effort for the Tide. That was Cam Quinn, a smaller defensive back, showing some heart, along with McGill. So you had two defensive backs willing to stick their nose in there and make a play.
Yep, all you got to do is just get in there and get your arms around him and wait for the Calvert to come. And that time, another really good pursuit by the Maroon Tide defense.
And what it does, it makes Poplarville try to convert this 3rd and 2. Ball over at the 12-yard line. Track Smith at the quarterback position. He'll follow Ty Keys through a hole. He's met with contact at the 2. He is waiting for balls loose. Are they going to say Track scored, or is the ball loose? Give us an indication. Tied off the field with the football, but we don't know if he scored or not. They're discussing it. This is no way that you don't know. You can't talk about it, but the Tide going to benefit from it, Rick. They're going to say a touchback.
Wow.
I saw the beanbag come out. You see a Tidesman sprint to the sideline with the football. Track thought he had broke the plane, did Track Smith, but they're going to say no. The ball's loose and it's a touchback. And in that type of play, Rick, I hate a discussion. It's a huge play.
Got to call it. Got to go with it.
Yeah, you don't do yourself any favors to the crowd when you start talking about who saw what. Somebody's got to be looking down that line and know if he broke the plane or not. The Tide now with 3 turnovers in the second half and a big stop defensively thrown in, have stopped Poplarville with all 4 of their second half possessions.
Yeah, and 2 of those coming in the red zone.
In the end zone, my friend. 2 touchbacks.
Unbelievable.
Have recovered 2 fumbles in the end zone for touchbacks, as Tide going to take over with a 7-point advantage. Can we waste away this final 2:44? Here's the start of that question being answered. It's going to be a 3-yard pickup by Zay Dennis.
And boy, if you're the Maroon Tide Club, you've got to use this clock. No stupid penalties. You got to get first downs, and you want to end the game right here with your offense with the ball in their hand. You don't want to give it back to the Hornets.
Yep, you don't have to score, Rick, but you've got to be able to string together 2, maybe 3 first downs, and it'll be a 2nd and 7 from the 23-yard line. It will be McKinley at the fullback position, Zay Dennis at the tailback, behind the senior quarterback, Colt Robertson. Trying to go off the left side. A good dance move by Zay. He lost his guy, 45-50. Midfield and off to the races, but a couple flags came out really at the point of attack, Rick. And I believe this one's going to come back.
And what a block by McKinley to spring this thing, Clay. I'm looking at the monitor here. Nice kick out. Good job by the cutback block by the wide receiver that was out there, but you got to see what the flags are.
It's almost always holding in this situation. The flags came out, had me calling at midfield and the 50. I knew that it was a break in the action and potentially going to come back and cost the Tide a 76-yard touchdown run, and I think that it will. 1:48, all that's left in this one. Crew not going to get in a hurry here to let us know what's going on. That's kind of been the theme of the night. Have they ever let us know what's going on here, Rick? Have you ever seen the official holding indication?
Haven't seen anything. Just a lot of flags, but no explanation.
And he's trying to figure out, this is insane to me, the spotting of the football. Like, where are they going to put it down, Rick? That's not our stream locking up, y'all. That's them trying to figure out where to put this thing. Ball at the 30. It eventually will be moved, I believe, because of a penalty, but who knows? Is he going to put it down right there, Rick?
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure it out. They had it at the 25.
There he is. He'll put it at the 29, so it'll be a gain of actually 4 on a play. It'll be a first down for the Tide, but the holding with it being a spot penalty will move it to just outside. Let's call it the 30, Rick. Let's say he put it at the 30.
Boy, you know, Zay's had a couple of those called back this year, long runs.
Agana at the fullback. Here is Jordan Hathorn at the tailback. Get it to the 34-yard line.
And the Hornets been so good on that edge this year, Clay, or this game, but starting to wear down a little bit.
Yep.
And the edge is starting to open up, and I think that's going to be the second used timeout by the Hornets. They should have one remaining here.
Yeah, you remember Coach Beach, we talked about him being uncharacteristic and using an offensive timeout on a key third down. This is why he's a brilliant coach. This is why he doesn't like to use them offensively, because he knows how important they are in a defensive setting where you're really have your hands back behind your back. You can't stop the clock. You want to be able to use those timeouts on that side. So you are right short of timeout.
Going to be a 5-yard pickup, though, there by Hawthorne. So Coach Beach trying to save as much of that clock as he can. I think one first down here, Clay, you might be able to run it out.
1:41 left. Tide remarkably on top of this one. 28-21. Well, that almost left us for dead, Rick. And the turnovers.
I think we woke up too. I mean, I think we were all kind of sleepwalking over here, but Maroon Tide certainly, in all fairness, were sleepwalking themselves, but have put together a great second half.
Have recovered 2 fumbles in the end zone for touchdowns here in this second half. Here is another run by Jordan Hathorn. He's going to get a couple, but you will see that winding of the hand. That means that clock is Jordan Hathorn. Kind of a gym rat. He's a smart kid, stayed inbounds.
Yep, really good play there. Nice heady play by him to make Coach Beach and his staff use what we believe will be their final timeout.
1:33 left. Tide gonna, on the other side of this timeout, face a 3rd and 4. Man, this has been high drama tonight. At times it hasn't been the cleanest game from either squad. Both capable, in my opinion, of playing better football. But what the Airs have done has made it some kind of cinema, man. This has been high stakes and been a crazy turn. Poplarville, a team that rarely helps you any, have given it to the Tide 3 times. And a lot of that to say that that's just effort from the Tide, fighting to the end of these drives, being willing to punch it out.
That's right,
even
man.
if you're at the final second of a drive, and done that here defensively in the second half. A 3rd and 4 from the 35 of the Tide. McKinley goes from the left to right at the wing. Here's a pitch. That is Jordan Hathorn. Look at the finish. I believe he's got it, Rick. He stretched it out like he was going to score, and what a big finish of that run by Jordan Hathorn, the senior. Put it over the 40 like it was the end zone, and he will have it for the first down. Look at the finish on that run. He's contacted. That's a 3-yard dive ahead with the football by Jordan Hathorn to practically do it here tonight, Rick. Becomes a math equation. 1:12 left. What a finish on that run by Jordan Hathorn.
Great finish there, Clay. And that time they were able to kick the end out, take him out of the play, and boy, Jordan does the rest. And the old victory formation now for the Tide.
Yeah. Gonna hit a knee, and what a dime thrown by the young man hitting that knee to play a big part in winning this one. Threw a beautiful touchdown pass to Adarius Fortenberry. Fortenberry going to be our Farm Bureau player of the game with his antics both at the wide receiver spot and at the tailback spot. He scored 2 touchdowns here, so he'll be our Farm Bureau nominee, the player of the game. Got a couple guys still firing off pretty hard there for Poplarville, but that's not going to matter. The knees have been hit, and the clock's going to dwindle down to 0. And an all-timer tonight, Rick, for the Tide to come back being down 21-7. Storm back and going to take this one tonight 28-21 here on homecoming for the Poplarville Hornets.
Yeah, what a great second half, Clay. Maroon Tide trailed this one 21-7 at the half. It's a turnover in the end zone by the Hornets on their first possession. Maroon Tide come back. Jordan Hawthorne breaks one for 70 yards. Goes in for a touchdown and make it 21-14. Another turnover. They strip it from Keys this time. Fortenberry comes in and answers on a 19-yard touchdown run to tie the ball game up. The Hornets punt, their first and only punt of the night. Maroon Tide get it back, and Colt Robertson on 3rd and long hooks up with Fortenberry for a beautiful 35-yard pitch and catch, gets both feet in, 28-21, and then another turnover there to the Hornets had a chance to tie the game up in the end zone again. We can't believe it. I don't think we've ever seen two turnovers in the end zone, but it was all Picayune here in the second half. They outscored the Hornets 28-21, and as you said, a great Hornet football team. Man, if you had other plans in Pearl River County tonight, I hope it was something real good, because we had a great one going here.
Yeah, man, I'm not sure what you could have done that would have been much better than this. Ricky Whitaker from the Picayune perspective, just a storming comeback. Wow, 28-21. Ty gonna take it. We certainly appreciate those that have taken it in on our Diamond Productions live stream. Great camera work as usual by Jackson Harrelson. Great job by you, Ricky Whitaker, as we're now into our Pearl River Community College postgame show and Exotic Stones postgame show. Boy, oh boy, Rick, there were times, even coming, most of the time you're going to see a big comeback, you feel it right out of the gates in a locker room. Well, I didn't sense that. I really didn't think that the Tide were geared up in the right way coming out of the break, kind of worked themselves into it, and then the first turnover. And then here come the Maroon Tide. A stretch of football that's the best, in my opinion, that we've seen the Tide play all season long, played as a complete unit, right?
Yep.
We had defensive backs that I'm looking to see who they are on the roster. I hadn't talked about them all season, sticking their nose in a helmet of 5. There were some big efforts probably lost in this that those guys on Sunday afternoon are going to gather at the field house and have smiles on their faces, because there's some guys that haven't been making plays that I think made some big plays in this second half.
No, I agree, Clay, and I mean, we try to call it as honestly as we can. I think the coaching staff appreciates that from us too, but they looked a little sluggish in the first half, and in the second half, they looked like they maybe took a shot of NyQuil at the half and looked more sluggish, but boy, when they woke up, they stayed woke, and what was a pretty pedestrian offensive production on the first half for the Maroon Tide, primarily on the ground. turned into a really good second half. Jordan Hawthorne, 7 rushes, 102 yards. Also had a reception for 11 yards. He had 102 on the night. Zay Dennis, 14 for 103. Took him a little while to get going, but when he did, he was good in the second half. And then you look at the other scoring drives. Adarius Fortenberry, 5 rushes, 39 yards, a touchdown, and then had a 35-yard reception. Back-to-back scoring drives from Mr. Fortenberry, who I believe, I agree with you 100%, was our player of the game, our Farm Bureau player of the game. And then Colt Robertson kind of gets forgotten his 7-yard rush touchdown that he had in the first half, the only points there. But Maroon Tide on the night, 40 rushes, 305. That was just under 8 yards a carry there. And then Colt Robertson, 2 of 5 on the night, 46 yards, and the big touchdown to Fortenberry, but had some drops. I think his numbers look a lot better if he don't have the drops. He threw the ball well tonight, and, boy, his effort getting out and blocking. We saw some bodies flying from our quarterback tonight and the blocks that he was throwing. Everybody turned their game up, and Maroon Tide pulled one out, came out and got it, stole one against a very good Hornet team.
Yeah, no, it's said about Picayune, don't throw it a whole lot. You can look back, Hathorne, I remember his drop, Wilkins, his drop. That's a 5-for-5 night for Colt without that, and then he's probably up over the 100-yard mark as well, as Wilkins was going to run for a while after his catch. But I thought maybe one of the biggest throws in recent memory is right here to Fortenberry, right running out of real estate, but that chemistry of 2 seniors who really have a great relationship off of the field, being able to find each other just in time. What a play.
That was incredible, man. You'd love to be in that Robertson household. You know, we remember a call in a very tight game where Colt's big brother rolled out, directed some traffic, and made a big throw, and now little brother said, hey, go and look at mine. His was pretty good, too.
Yeah, it was. That was a play where we really thought Brady was about to scramble, popped his head up at the last second, found Josiah on the sideline. That's a play that'll go down in Maroon Tide lore as well as this one. What a comeback. If you had any questions about what the Tide potentially can be after last week's loss, probably checked all those boxes tonight if you stayed with them in the second half. A big win against. Let's don't lose this, Rick, and I'll pay a tip of the cap. They are going to be heck on wheels in 4A football.
If they're on your 4A schedule,
good
best of luck to you against this Hornet team. And Maroon Tide's going to get a well-deserved bye. I think they need that. It'd be a good time to reset, refocus. So no game for us next week, but we'll be picking up the following week for our first district play. So district play started for the 7A group tonight, with the exception of Gulfport, who played Pascagoula. Can go and catch the highlights, get the finals on those, but everything's going to be live from here on out.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun to go down that second half, that second portion of the season with you, my friend. Hang in with us. If you've enjoyed the stream tonight, tell a friend, ask them to share, subscribe. If you didn't, I'm sorry. That's about the best that we can do. And so we appreciate you joining us. What a heck of a Friday night here in South Mississippi for the final time tonight on our Pearl River Community College and Exotic Stones post-game show. Tide take it over Poplarville 28-21. Till you hear from us again. Love God, love people.